Chapter 1341. There was only Chen Shang sitting alone on the wide competition grounds. Many people suspected that he did not have the ability to quickly refine high-level pellets, so they did not struggle and decided to kill him on the ground-level pellet. Granny wrong, if you were to refine a high-grade heaven-level pill, how long would it take? Long Huishan held onto the old granny's arm intimately. Long Perong had also been badly beaten by Chen Shang on the stage, but her mood had improved a lot now. She smiled benevolently and said, "One furnace in 2 hours, one furnace 2 pills won't be a problem, in 12 hours, I can definitely concoct 12 pills, that's equivalent to 12,000 points. If that brat concocted a ground-level pill, he would also have to concoct 12,000 pills in 12 hours, hee. Even with the arrival of the pill sage, it would not be possible for him to do such a thing. Pei Rong, you can't let your guard down. It's definitely no accident that he was able to suppress all of you Dan Immortal. He did it with his true abilities. This competition was not fair to begin with. The very high elder scolded sternly. Dad, I understand. Long Perong stopped smiling. Yan Zilin, who was standing at the side, was secretly shocked. She did not think that such a powerful old granny would actually have a father, who was also the very high elder of the Long family. It was the first time she heard that the Long family only had a very high elder, and previously, she was believed that the strongest in the Long family was only Long Perong. Imperial Dragon Clan of the Imperial Dragon Clan are also present, but he is very low-key and did not attract anyone's attention. The Long family very high elder said. It's that young man, he has a very dense holy dragon aura, so it should be a holy dragon. He's also very strong, so he'll be able to become a dragon king very soon. He looks very young. Long Perong nodded. Right now he was resting, and he had even eaten a few pieces of Hunyuan Dan, sealing the medicinal power in his dantian. He was worried that it would not be enough to concoct pills with the innate chi later. It was normal for one pellet to be worth 1,000, but for people who could not concoct high-quality heaven-level pellets, it was a bit unfair. It was just that this competition was just to show off to the Dan Immortal, and the low-leveled alchemist was just to join in on the fun. If a low-level alchemist came to participate in the tournament and clamored for fairness, it would be a complete joke, because this competition was not prepared for low-level alchemist at all. Mistress, you should rest well. Let Master and the others handle the matter of collecting medicinal ingredients. Hua Shangyu giggled and pinched Xiao Profoundian's shoulder. Xiao Profoundian leaned on the chair, fully enjoying the massage from Su Meiyao. At this time, Lu Zongyu, Wu Kanghong and the others had all left to help her gather the medicinal ingredients. Only Song Ying, Lu Menger and the women stayed behind. Aunt Xuanyan, I didn't think that you would be so amazing, being able to get so close to the front. Lu Menger looked at Xiao Profoundian in admiration, because at that time, Xiao Profoundian was just an alchemist. Your mother isn't bad either. If it's a refining competition or something like that, your parents will definitely be among the best. After Xiao Profoundian finished speaking, he sighed slightly. However, compared to the freak in first place, I'm still far too lacking, and the following matches seem to be very disadvantageous for him. It seems like he doesn't plan to refine the heaven-level pellet. Lu Menger looked at Hua Shangyu, hinting that he should tell Xiao Profoundian some things. Master, I don't know if I should tell you something. Hua Shangyu was a little hesitant, because he had not confirmed whether the person was Chen Shang or not. Don't dilly-dally, don't you know that I hate people like this the most? Xiao Profoundian pouted and said. We suspect that the one in first place is our junior martial uncle. Ah, Xiao Profoundian jumped up from his chair and looked at Hua Shangyu with an expression of disbelief. That guy is mine, junior apprentice brother. Hua Shangyu stuck out his tongue, it's very possible that he is. Xiao Profoundian frowned. She thought for a moment and then smiled. If this guy is really junior, then I'll let him see how powerful I am. I'm his senior sister, I definitely can't lose to him. This must be kept a secret. Right now, junior martial uncle is in danger. Hua Shangyu warned. I'm not stupid, of course I understand. I really hope it's him. I never thought that the first time I met this junior brother, I would directly exchange pointers with him. Xiao Profoundian was obviously happy. Song Ying chuckled, but you lost to him, and lost very miserably. Junior martial uncle is truly pitiful. Without the heaven-level medicinal herbs, I wonder how he would be able to enter the top 10. S eyes flashed. She was Chen Zhang's slave, and had been involved with Chen Shang multiple times, so her mind and body was already occupied by Chen Shang. However, she didn't show that kind of emotion in front of Xiao Profoundian and Song Ying, otherwise, it would be very easy for her to be seen through. The first person to return to the competition arena was a very young man. He had a proud expression on his face and walked with steps that Chen Shang felt he had seen before. This is a holy dragon. If I did not see him alone here, I would not have noticed him. I never thought that this fellow was actually an alchemist, and concealed himself so deeply. Long Shui's voice carried a rare heaviness. At this time, the competition grounds were much emptier, and some Dan Immortals could choose to stay far away from them, but Chen Shang chose to stay at the area furthest from the front desk. At the back of the competition grounds, there were no alchemists. Because the ground level pills score is a bit low, we can receive 500 in one go. I believe that everyone will be able to reach this stage and very rarely will they fail to refine pills. I am not worried that everyone will waste our medicinal ingredients. He Piqing had also returned to the arena. He actually wanted to see how Chen Shang obtained victory, because in the eyes of the audience, this was an absolutely impossible feat. Just as Long Perong had said, even if the pill saint came, he would not be able to turn the tide, unless Chen Shang also refined a heaven-level pill. Xiao Profoundian had obtained a large amount of heaven-level pill medicinal ingredients. She intentionally walked past Chen Shang, and carefully examined the person that might be his junior brother. However, she could not see anything, but she could feel that Chen Shang was not nervous at all. He just sat there quietly with his eyes closed, as if he had merged with the world. Kid, do you really not have the ingredients for the heaven-level pill? Li Tianjin sent a sound transmission to Chen Shang. He knew that Chen Shang could refine heaven-level pills, but he felt that it was a pity that he couldn't see Chen Shang refining the heaven-level pills with his own eyes. Don't worry about me, I already have a plan. Chen Shang replied. However, only Li Tianjin knew how terrifying Chen Zhang's bottomless potential was. Even though the rules restricted him, if he could break through the limits and win against the rules that were against him, then it would definitely be a huge improvement. Chapter 1342. Chen Shang was at the back of the group of alchemists. He looked at his surroundings and saw that the place he was at was completely empty. He had intentionally chosen this place. Chen Shang looked at this group of alchemists in front of him and sighed helplessly in his heart. He had originally wanted to try and fight for them, but in terms of refining heaven-level pills, he was probably inferior to these Dan Immortals. Currently, these Dan Immortals who were refining pills could use most of their strength to refine heaven-level pills. Even when Chen Shang used all his strength, he was still unable to compare to them. If they don't use the time acceleration array inside the pill furnace, they might still have a chance. Su Meiyao said, the formations in this era are becoming more and more powerful. They have improved a lot compared to our era, especially the time formation. Sister Meiyao, if you were to go all out to refine high-grade heaven-level pills, how long would it take for you to refine a batch of pills? Chen Shang asked. He wanted to use this to predict the strength of the Dan Immortal. About 1 furnace in 8 hours. It's easier to refine, but 2 won't be a problem. If I were to use those time formations now, I estimate that it would be completed within 6 hours. Su Meiyao thought about it and replied. From this, it could be seen that the refining difficulty of middle-graded pills was much greater than low-ranked pills, and heaven-level pills had 1,000 points, which was also very normal. The pills were rare herbs, so it was impossible for myriad Dan Immortal country to provide too many, but if other alchemists wanted to refine them, they would have to produce them themselves. Furthermore, the refining difficulty was very high, and the time required was also very long. The first person who refined the Hunyuan Dan was the Long family's Dan Immortal. Until now, Chen Shang still did not know where this Long Perong came from. He only knew that she was from the Long family. However, from the looks of Long Perong and the others, they could tell that she had a very big background. Long Perong obtained 3 sets of ingredients for high-ranked heaven-level S, but the second completed Dan Immortal was much more surprising to many. It was actually a young man, who was the holy dragon that Imperial Dragon clan sent over, who obtained 2 sets of high-grade heaven-level S. The third was Li Tianjin. Ever since he lost to Bai Sha Dan Immortal last time and received some stimulation, he had made great progress. Fourth was that Bai Sha Dan Immortal. She had the same set of high-grade heaven-level medicinal ingredients as Li Tianjin, as well as 3 middle-grade ones. Fifth was Xiao Profoundian, and sixth was the person Chen Shang was very familiar with, Du Hai. Du Hai was not ranked in the previous round, but that did not mean his strength was weak. Furthermore, He was here on behalf of the sacred Dan realm, and had probably collected a large amount of heaven-level medicinal herbs. The seventh was the Dan Immortal from the devil-suppressing divine palace. He had a strong demonic presence. As for the remaining 3 people who were able to obtain the medicinal ingredients, Chen Shang did not know them, but he noticed that when the 3 Dan Immortals were receiving the medicinal ingredients, they had an eye contact with He Piching, so he guessed that they were Dan Immortals that had been sent by the myriad Dan Immortal country. Those alchemists who were unable to obtain the medicinal ingredients felt that it was a little regretful, but before they left, they had already prepared sufficient heaven-level medicinal ingredients, so many of them had faces full of confidence, thinking that they would have the chance to squeeze into the top 10. Of the 1,000 extremely high-level alchemists, only 10 would be able to enter the finals. Now, alchemist who wishes to receive ground-level pills, please come up to receive them. After that, I will announce the start of the competition. He Piching said as he looked at Chen Shang, because he was the only one who chose to refine the ground-level pill. Everyone had only suspected it before, but they never thought that someone would actually choose to refine a ground-level pill. A single pill only had 1 point, and if one used all their might to refine it, they would definitely not be able to defeat those Dan Immortal who were refining high-grade heaven-level S. But Chen Shang walked up quickly. How many more 5 elements profound Dan do you guys still have? Chen Shang asked. There are still 3,000 of these. An old man replied. I can only receive 500 at most. Since there aren't any alchemist who can receive it now, can you let me receive a little more at once? Chen Shang asked. It's the same for you. Don't tell me you can concoct over 1,000 pills at once. The old man asked in disdain, your pill furnace can't hold that many, can it? He Piching said. Only 500 pills at a time, this is the rule that was previously set. We will calculate according to the number of pills that you will give us, and when we count the total, if there are more than 10 failures, you will have to leave. 500 then. Chen Shang sighed. Many people did not understand why he wanted so much at one go, no one could refine so many at once. Chen Shang took the 500 sets of 5 elements profound Dan medicine and returned to his position. The second round of the myriad pill competition will now begin. After He Piching finished speaking, a big-sized man knocked on a large gong, and after a clang sound, all the alchemists immediately placed the medicinal ingredients into the furnace. Even the small amount of heaven-level S provided by the myriad Dan Immortal country was the same, but the ground-level S he received were still the same. Not only were their quality poor, some of them were even filled with rubbish and mud. In a very short period of time, those Dan Immortal S had already entered the state of refining pills, but Chen Shang had poured out all 500 sets of medicinal ingredients he had received. Everyone saw Chen Shang release all the broken medicinal ingredients, immediately feeling a headache. Forget about refining them, even if they were to tidy them up properly, it would make them feel dizzy. Moreover, 1 pellet each time would cause the alchemist to have no motivation. However, Chen Shang was carefully cleaning up those medicinal herbs. He did not feel troubled, nor did he look unhappy. Instead, he was filled with confidence, and there was a sense of excitement in his expression. Although there were a lot of them, Chen Shang handled them very quickly and carefully. After he finished organizing them, he took almost an hour, and there were some people who had already finished training a batch, but that was only for the low-grade heaven level. It's about to begin, Hua Shangyu said somewhat excitedly. If he is really my junior martial uncle, after this, all of you will see a scene that you will never forget. What's going to happen? Wang Weiquan asked curiously. I don't know either, but if he wants to win in this kind of situation, he must use some very powerful methods. Hua Shangyu said. No matter how I think about it, I just can't figure out how to use a ground-level pill to win, it's only a single point per pill. Even with the pill refining speed he had before, he still wouldn't be able to enter the top 10 ranks. The Dan Immortal within the top 10 are all very strong, and right now, they are all refining high-grade heaven-level pills. Song Ying said. Chapter 1343, Chen Shang did not immediately start concocting pills, but closed his eyes instead. He did not know what he was doing, even in this kind of situation, he was actually so relaxed, as though he was not participating in a competition. Whether or not he is Chen Shang, it all depends on his performance now. Only Chen Shang can use that mysterious pill refining technique, and now he can only rely on that unimaginable pill refining technique to win this competition. Yan Zilan looked at Chen Shang with rapt attention, and his voice carried a trace of excitement. Li Tianjin, Du Hai, Long Perong, and Xiao Profoundian had all been paying attention to Chen Zhang's location. Li Tianjin knew that it was indeed Chen Shang, while the other three couldn't be sure, but if it was Chen Shang, they couldn't let their guard down. What is he doing? Why is the immortal qi suddenly stronger? He Feng asked in shock. This myriad Dan immortal palace had a formation that could absorb immortal qi, but it was not activated yet, but a large amount of immortal qi was flowing in, causing many people to be surprised because the immortal qi was surrounding Chen Shang. Huang Jintian knew that Chen Shang was serious, and immediately went on guard. He was worried that if Chen Shang revealed his identity later, someone would attack him. Chen Shang opened his eyes, 2 golden rays of light shooting out. After that, many medicinal ingredients floated up, as though they had a spirit of their own, they combined together. A very powerful divine power. Wu Kanghong said emotionally. He was a spirit cultivator, but the god power Chen Shang released shocked him. This divine power, is it from the Imperial Dragon Clan? Long Huishan opened her eyes wide. She was just cultivating her mind, and that was just the beginning. He doesn't belong to the Imperial Dragon Clan, he cultivated it himself. The very high elder was also surprised. Chen Shang used a large amount of divine power to control the medicinal herbs to float in the air, and then make them into parts. This required a lot of energy, so he could only absorb a large amount of immortal energy into his body to prevent himself from exhausting too much energy. The people of Imperial Dragon Clan were the most shocked, because there was actually a human that could cultivate god power to such a level, which made them secretly alert. The 500 sets of medicinal ingredients were floating in a neat row, forming a circle around Chen Shang. Now Chen Shang did not even need to use that 7 stars treasure furnace. Dawen refining method. Chen Shang shouted in his heart as the divine power within the divine sense sea suddenly surged out, transforming into 100 magic method furnace. If he wanted to quickly refine the ground level's medicinal ingredients, he could only use the Dawen refining method from inside. Chen Zhang's arms trembled, and multicolored light gushed out of his body. It was a large quantity of 5 elements heavenly fire, but under his control, they entered into the magic method furnace very accurately. The herbs inside the 100 magic method furnace were like a pile of firewood. When Chen Shang released the 5 elements heavenly fire above, it instantly ignited into a raging fire. It really is him. Only my junior martial uncle knew how to use this technique. However, before, there weren't that many. Hua Shangyu said excitedly. The others were already dumbstruck. This time, Chen Shang used the Dawen refining method differently, because he used the god purification now. But in his eyes, it was more or less the same. The magic method furnace was transparent, so people could not see it, so the herbs were like being refined out of thin air. They did not use a pill furnace, but could still be used to concoct pills, and even had to concoct 500 sets of ingredients at once. Although it was just a ground-level pill, at the moment, the 100 balls of herbs that were burning with the 5 elements heavenly fire emitted all kinds of colors, causing everyone to be dumbstruck. The entire competition had just been enveloped by those multicolored lights, and when the medicinal ingredients came into contact with the flames, the multicolored light within was as if it was released by the sun itself. Different medicinal ingredients released different multicolored lights, and normally, they were all covered by the beautiful light of the pill furnace. The Dan Immortals present were all shocked. They had been refining pills for many years, but this was the first time they had seen such a method of refining pills. In the past, they did not even think that Chen Shang would not chase after them. It's so beautiful. No wonder he was so confident before. Wang Weiquan was startled for a moment, and said while exclaiming. I never thought that refining pills could be done in such a way. Now, it seems that he has a chance of entering the top 10. The rules that originally were very disadvantageous to him are now useless. Lu Zongyu's face was also filled with surprise. No wonder that little girl Shenxian is so confident in Chen Shang. Furthermore, she said that if Chen Shang were to participate in this kind of competition, even if he doesn't win, he would be able to use his most powerful refining skills to shock the entire audience. Song Ying was moved. Long Huishan laughed loudly, because she had already confirmed that this was Chen Shang. I wonder if Granny Long would be angry if she lost to this kid. Long Huishan laughed. God power, I never thought that he would be able to use God power so well. These medicinal ingredients were not melted out of thin air. Outside of these medicinal ingredients, there is an invisible pill furnace. This pill furnace is formed from God power, moreover it is very stable, and won't let the medicine aura and medicinal powder inside leak out. The very high elder was very excited, His face flushed red. Moreover, this is the divine power that you release yourself, the flames can also easily get in, and everything inside can easily be controlled by you. I really don't know how he came up with this idea. How come I never thought of refining pills like this before? If that's the case, then I don't need pill furnaces to concoct low-level pills. If I control them well, then he could concoct so many in one go and so many in such a short period of time. Chen Shang had used this method in the sacred Dan realm before, when he was still in DTN's time, so some people from the heaven realm had long heard of it. At this moment, a few large powers had already begun doubting his identity. The people in the audience area had also started to spread the news, even those who did not know about Chen Shang before, had now understood, if this person was really Chen Shang, then a dispute would definitely arise. Just by looking at the green dragon demon slain broadsword, it could incite a lot of big powers to fight a big battle. Divine Saber Immortal Palace, Imperial Dragon Clan and Devil Suppressing Divine Palace all wanted this blade very much. Chen Shang still had the Holy Devil Suppressing seal on him, and that was also something that belonged to the Devil Suppressing Divine Palace. As for the powerful demons, they were most afraid that these things would fall into the hands of the immortals, so they would definitely fight for them, otherwise, it would bring about heavy losses to the demons. Other than that, Chen Shang also had the Heaven-Earth killing method on him, as well as Chaos Fire token. This brat is truly fat to the point of overflowing with oil. Even I want to snatch him away. Huang Jintian snickered in his heart. The reason why Chen Shang was taking such a huge risk now, was also because he wanted to obtain that divine cauldron. After careful consideration, he felt that the divine cauldron was worth the risk. If Chen Shang could enter the top 10, these medicinal ingredients would be equivalent to giving them to Chen Shang for free. That would originally be theirs, especially when they saw Chen Shang turn these pieces of trash into a large number of high-quality medicinal pills. They couldn't help but wish that their own myriad Dan immortal country would have such a genius alchemist. Chapter 1344. In the room where the group of immortal kings were located, Wang Chongjin shouted towards the outside with an ice-cold expression, the relationship between Chen Shang and the demon empress is very shallow. Black blood magic sunflower appeared previously in the heavenly bull immortal palace, and during the great battle of the 20,000 core palace, the first prince Yifeng was also struck by this poison. Old witch, I said that you're not young anymore, aren't you shouting so that others will know that you've been murdered by the super old poison? Moreover, there is no other reason, you are spraying blood on people, and your fire divine palace must have done a lot of things to forcefully draw fire soul. No wonder the fire divine palace accepted you, because the fire divine palace itself is an evil force. The one who spoke was Long Huishan, she was currently a female dragon king of the Long family. Having inherited the ice dragon's inheritance, her strength was unfathomable and she had enough confidence. Huang Jintian also shouted at the top of his lungs, isn't the fire divine palace the one who sent the immortal kings to dominate the mortal realm and then be rolled back like homeless dogs? It is said that this was caused by the leader's all-out counterattack, so it isn't strange for them to be making this up. Before they stole someone else, they always found an honest reason to do so, and for all these years, the people who got their fire soul did the same thing. Wang Chongjin was completely speechless. They had indeed suffered a huge loss in DTN, losing an immortal king and many good seedlings. In the eyes of many people in Heaven Realm, DTN was just a mortal world. Even the Fire Divine Palace there was not in a good condition, so people always treated him as a joke. For example, the Great Elder of the Dragon Subduing School was extremely terrifying. In an instant, he was able to kill an Emperor Dragon Guard, and in addition, he had met the Dragon Emperor before. The Dragon Emperor also knew that the mysterious Great Elder was extremely terrifying. Chen Shang, who was currently using Dawen refining method to refine pills, was not affected much by it, because he had already been prepared for a long time, and his only goal now was to enter the top 10 places in the competition. Are you really Chen Shang? I am Xiao Profoundian, the wife of your eldest senior brother Wang Weiquan, and Huang Jintian is also my master. If you are Chen Shang, then you are my junior brother. Xiao Profoundian whispered to Chen Shang. I knew it long ago. Master told me about it, but I should be your second senior brother. You became a disciple later than me, right, junior sister? Chen Shang replied with a smile. I am older than you, and I have known you for a long time. When your eldest senior brother and I were married, he was in charge, so I am your senior sister. Xiao Profoundian didn't think that her own junior brother would actually see her as his junior sister, which made her a little angry in her heart. Isn't that just the rule? You became a disciple later than me, so you are my junior sister, and I also won against you in the previous match. I am qualified to be your senior brother. Chen Shang replied with a grin. Xiao Profoundian never thought that Chen Shang would still be able to easily tangle with her on this issue, and the big shots from the big powers were all staring at him intently, wishing that they could stab him to death and take away his things. No, I can't accept it. You must be my junior brother. Xiao Profoundian couldn't refute Chen Shang, he could only act shamelessly. Junior apprentice sister, seriously refine the pill, or else you'll be left behind again. Chen Shang laughed. She didn't expect this junior brother to be so uncooperative, and had already determined that she was her junior sister. This made her very unhappy in her heart, and she decided to wait until the end of the competition to properly discuss this issue with him. The glow that was emitted by the 100 magic method furnace gradually dimmed and shrunk together. Many people had just seen him release extremely violent 5 elements heavenly fire to burn those medicinal ingredients, but those medicinal ingredients did not explode. This was very logical. Fire Divine Palace and Long Huishan did not argue. If not, Long Huishan would reveal all of the disgraceful things that happened in Fire Divine Palace, causing his reputation to be even worse. It's about to form the core. Hua Shangyu said. This guy is my martial uncle. The reason he dared to take such risks must be because of that divine cauldron. Every single magic method furnace had the same progress and changes. This synchronization made everyone secretly admire. Now that everyone had witnessed the scene of refining 500 sets of medicinal ingredients at the same time, and without even using a pill furnace to refine them at first, everyone was shocked, but after that, they carefully looked at the changes in Chen Zhang's pill furnace, as they wanted to learn from it. Chen Shang spent approximately 2 hours to refine the medicinal ingredients. At this time, they congealed into a ball of air, and this ball of air was split into 30 pieces by him. At the sight of this, everyone knew that he had to produce 30 pills in a single furnace. Each furnace contained 5 batches of medicinal ingredients, and under these circumstances, he could maintain his quantity without reducing. This made everyone feel that he was a real pill saint. Chen Zhang's consumption was also huge, because when he was refining pills, he needed to inject some creation divine liquid S into the flames, and controlling 100 of them wouldn't be an easy task. Furthermore, he would even need to use the God purification, which consumed a lot of divine power and innate qi. Chen Shang used his divine power to compress the balls of qi and slowly condense them into pills. At the moment, when the light was very strong, everyone in the distance could only see a dazzling ball of light, unable to see the details inside. The person who had suspected him of cheating previously was now completely convinced. This was because Chen Shang had used the transparent magic method furnace to let everyone clearly see how he had concocted multiple pills in one go. But Chen Shang did not use it. In comparison, everyone felt that the other Dan Immortal present could not compare to Chen Shang at all, although he could only refine ground-level pills, and that was because he could only make ground-level pills. He Piqing looked at the pills that were gradually condensing and forming, and felt very uncomfortable in his heart, because with Chen Zhang's speed, refining all of his herbs was not a problem. Although it was some abandoned medicinal herbs, but after Chen Shang turned them into treasures, they would still feel their heartache. Even though the rules were not match, Chen Shang used his superior pill refining skills to tell everyone that the rules were not enough to beat him. The glaring rays of light from the magic method furnace disappeared, and 30 high-quality 5 elements profound Dan were quietly floating in every furnace. There were a total of 3,000, and the 3,000 points were obtained just like that. Adding in the time he had taken to process the medicinal ingredients before, Chen Shang had spent a total of 1.5 hours. Chen Shang took the large pile of 5 elements profound Dan and walked forward, then picked up another 500 sets of medicinal ingredients from the old man who had an unnatural expression. Chapter 1345. In such a disadvantageous situation, to still be able to obtain such a high score, it was all because of Chen Shang relying on his godly pill refining skills to counter, and once again suppressing the numerous Dan Immortal. Chen Shang organized the ingredients, and took a while to organize the 500 sets of ingredients, and he could use this time to recover the huge amount of energy he had lost previously. Right now, he was constantly absorbing the immortal qi, and using his energy to quickly refine it, and at the same time refining the Hunyuan Dan he consumed previously, allowing himself to quickly recover. Just concocting 100 batches of pills at the same time had consumed a lot of energy. He had used a lot of 5 elements heavenly fire S as well and felt a lot of pressure in the area of innate qi. Regarding Chen Zhang's current identity, many of the big heads could not be sure, because there was no proof that he was Chen Shang. Although his method of refining pills was very similar to Chen Shang, but with such a large world, it was not strange for people to have the same method of refining pills. Although they were not sure, but those rankers from influential clans had decided to surround Chen Shang and ask him about it after the competition. It had already been an hour since Chen Shang had finished organizing the large pile of medicinal ingredients, and at the same time, Long Perong had already concocted a batch of high-grade heaven-level pills. There were 2 of them, and they were all of high quality, and even though he had exchanged them for 2,000 points, he was still 1,000 points less than Chen Shang, and even slower than Chen Shang by an hour. Before this, Long Perong thought that he would definitely get the first place in the competition, but who knew that Chen Shang would actually use such a miraculous pill refining skill? You should be first in the second match. However, in the final match, the rules will certainly be against you. When that happens, it'll be even more difficult. Su Meiyao said. We'll talk about it when the time comes. In short, I'll try my best to fight over that divine cauldron. Chen Shang once again used the Dawen refining method, releasing the 100 magic method furnace, and began refining the pill. Although they were only separated by only an hour, seeing Chen Zhang's ultimate move again, everyone was still shocked. They stared intently at the magic method furnace as they carefully observed the changes that had occurred inside the furnace. Right now, it was not Chen Zhang's limit. If he could get more medicinal ingredients, he could refine even more in one go, which was why he had wanted to try and obtain more at once. It was just that He Piqing did not allow him to. In only 2 hours, he had succeeded in condensing the pellet. Like last time, it was still 3005 elements profound Dan and he already had 6,000 points. I never thought that Imperial Dragon Clan's little holy dragon would be so powerful. He's now ranked 3rd, and it looks like he's feeling a lot of pressure, afraid that he won't be able to enter the top 10. That's why he's not hiding his strength anymore. Long Shui said. Chen Shang was very surprised about this, because Li Tianjin and the Bai Sha Dan Immortal were both ranked behind the Holy Dragon, while Xiao Profoundian was also a little behind her in ranking, so Du Hai was ahead of her. Has there ever been a dragon in your Imperial Dragon Clan that knew how to refine pills? A very strong one, Chen Shang asked. I'm not sure. I don't have any memories of this kind in my memory inheritance, but I think there should be, because we dragons prefer to eat them directly. Long Shui said. After Chen Shang returned from receiving the medicinal ingredients, he took a look at the small holy dragon. He suddenly realized that this small holy dragon looked similar to the Prince Imperial Dragon that died in his hands. Could this guy be a new Prince Imperial Dragon? Chen Shang thought. If that's not the case, then Dragon Emperor would not have come. He seems to have used some sort of secret method to determine whether or not his son has the potential to become the Dragon Emperor. If the Holy Dragon who is refining pills right now is the Crown Prince, then there wouldn't be any problems with the Prince Imperial Dragon previously. That Prince Imperial Dragon was just born not too long ago, his strength is very weak. The Holy Dragon sitting here is a Immortal Monarch level Holy Dragon. Long Shui said. Chen Shang was concocting pills faster and faster now, which made He Piqing and the rest secretly grit their teeth. If Chen Shang finished refining those 5 elements profound Dan before the end of the competition, then it would definitely be the Relive Dan's turn. If He Piqing knew that Chen Shang had such a heaven-defying refining technique, he would definitely set a rule that would restrict Chen Zhang's abilities. He was already beginning to calculate the rules for the final round. Chen Shang arranged the ingredients and started to refine the 3rd batch of pills. But this time was different from the previous 2 times. He only released 50 magic method furnace this time, so he could refine 10 batches of ingredients in one batch. If he could control it well, it would save him a lot of strength, and might even be faster. Seeing Chen Shang reducing the amount of pills in the furnace, some people could tell that he was trying it out step by step, and had actually improved a little during the competition, which was truly admirable. Chen Zhang's goal was not only to finish refining the 5 elements profound Dan, the Relive Dan were also his goal right now. But right now, he had to quickly refine all of the 5 elements profound Dan's medicinal ingredients so that he could get a high score in the points before he would dare to refine other pills. Reducing the magic method furnace to 50 pill furnaces would allow him to control it without releasing too much divine power, allowing him to relax a little. This way, he would be able to release even more stronger 5 elements heavenly fire and quickly refine the herbs. Thus, his current speed was much faster. At his current speed, he could probably refine 500 sets of 5 elements profound Dan in an hour. If he refines heaven-level pills at the same speed in the future, then it would be too terrifying. Very High Elder was amazed. I have received inspiration from this kid, so I need to go into closed-door cultivation and see if I can create this training method. Long Huishan laughed. Very High Elder, if this brat is Chen Shang, I can let him teach you, he is my younger brother. That's not necessary. His method might not be suitable. Even if he were to pass it down to me, I might not be able to learn it. It's better to figure it out by himself. Although it's a bit difficult, it's best suited for oneself. The Very High Elder shook his head and laughed. In just an hour, Chen Shang had completely turned all 500 sets of medicinal ingredients into pills, and inside each furnace there were 60 pills. They floated, and they gave off a hazy glow like the stars in the sky. It had already been 8 hours since the start of the competition, yet Chen Shang was able to refine 9005 elements profound Dan. This was probably the shortest amount of time possible for alchemists to refine so many pills in the history of the tournament. Chen Shang had already scored 9,000 points, the participating Dan Immortal felt powerless, and previously, Chen Shang had also taken first place in a ruthless manner, and now, it was the same, and this second round was actually extremely powerful against alchemists like them. In an unfair situation, Chen Shang was still standing as the top ranker with a high score, causing these Dan Immortal to feel ashamed in their hearts. Chen Shang took the batch of pellets that he had just refined and went to collect a new batch of medicinal ingredients. After passing through to Xiao Profoundian, he sent her a sound transmission and smiled. Junior sister, you have to work hard. Chapter 1346. Xiao Profoundian opened her eyes and rolled her eyes at him. She could be considered a rather famous Dan Immortal now, and one that was very strong as well. It would be difficult for her to accept Chen Shang as her senior. However, Chen Zhang's current score was definitely higher than hers by a lot, and it was in both matches as well. Especially in this match, where she was in a very favorable situation, and yet, she was still being suppressed ruthlessly by Chen Shang. She was embarrassed to call Chen Shang junior brother now, so being left behind by a junior brother, she could not accept it either. Xiao Profoundian did not think anymore. She knew that as long as she could maintain her current state, it would be enough for her to perform steadily, and even if she could not get first, she would at least get a good rank. After all, she was considered very young in this group of Dan Immortal. That is to say, Chen Shang will be able to completely refine them in 3 more times. According to his current speed and the time he has to process the medicinal ingredients, it should only be enough for 6 hours. Right now, Chen Shang was no longer participating in the competition, but was frantically refining pills, because the pills would all belong to him. Myriad Dan Immortal Country originally wanted to take out the medicinal ingredients that had been stored inside for many years, and had a large group of alchemists help him refine them. Looking at how anxious Chen Shang was right now, as if he was going to refine all of the ground-level pills Myriad Dan Immortal Country provided. With such a large number of pills, if he sold them all, it would be like selling a large batch of spiritual crystal, which Myriad Dan Immortal Country was giving to Chen Shang as a gift. After 6 hours, Chen Shang very punctually refined all of the remaining 5 elements profound Dan medicine. He had a total of 18,000 points, which was more than the number of Dan Immortal who were ahead of the first round. The Dan Immortal behind did not have any hope of beating him. As long as he could enter the top 10, it would be considered good. Sure enough, Chen Shang started to have plans to take the Relive Dan as he received 500 sets of Relive Dan's medicinal ingredients. The quality of this Relive Dan's medicine is so high, there's no need to go through so much effort to deal with it. Chen Shang was secretly happy. There were still 5 hours of competition left, and he wanted to strive to refine more Relive Dan. Of course, he wasn't using them, but selling them. As for the other Dan Immortal who were refining the high-grade heaven-level pills, their maximum points would probably only be 12,000, unable to surpass Chen Shang. Right now, they could already confirm that Chen Shang was the champion of the competition, and he was still as vigorous as a dragon and as ferocious as a tiger, able to continue refining pills. If you can refine 4 pellets in a single furnace, then Hefeng and He Piqing both know that you producing 4 pellets in the Myriad Dan building would cause quite a sensation. If they were to see you refining 4 pellets in a single furnace, they might even claim that you are the great Master Yan. Su Meiyao said. No need to be afraid. After I obtain the divine cauldron, my master will immediately take me away. I believe in the strength of this crazy old man. Chen Shang had also thought about this before. If he had suppressed it a little, with 3 pills in each batch, it would probably not arouse any suspicion from He Piqing. He Piqing had lost his Tiantian holy fruit, so they would pay attention to this matter. They don't have any evidence to prove it's me, so don't worry. Chen Shang said. After organizing the Relive Dan's ingredients, Chen Shang started to refine the pills. 50 magic method furnace, each with 10 portions, just like before. Father, if he can get 4 pills in a pot, does that mean he's Master Yan? He Feng asked softly. He hated Master Yan a lot, because he was the one who brought Master Yan out back then. No, because Master Yan's refining technique is different from his, and we don't have any evidence to prove that he is Master Yan, but we will definitely keep an eye on him. He Piqing kept looking at Chen Shang. If this person was truly Master Yan, then it would also mean that he was Chen Shang. If what Wang Chongjin said was true, then all of the major events that happened in the myriad Dan Immortal country were all done by Chen Shang alone, as well as the matter regarding the Heavenly Bull Immortal Palace's Holy Spirit Rabbit. Chen Shang was already very familiar with Relive Dan. Although this was the first time he used this method to refine a pill, he didn't feel any pressure. It was just like when he was refining a 5 elements profound Dan. It only took him about an hour to reach the core formation stage. At this moment, everyone was staring at the ball of mist with their eyes wide open. Chen Shang then separated the large lump of mist inside the magic method furnace into 40 parts. Seeing this scene, the entire audience exclaimed. This meant that Chen Zhang's portion of medicinal ingredients could produce 4 Relive Dan, and not long ago, Master Yan who appeared in Myriad Dan building could do the same. It was just that the people participating in the competition were currently refining 500 pills in one go. Relive Dan were easier to sell, especially of high quality. Now that Chen Shang had used this kind of savage refining technique to refine them, it meant that the crashing spiritual crystal would enter his storage magic treasure S. Father, it must be him, Master Yan must be him. He Feng clenched his fists and said, who knows, maybe the entire matter of the Tiantian holy fruit is related to him. Arrest him and ask him about it. The person who cheated the Tiantian holy fruit back then had your immortal sword in his hand, and knew about the poison in the black blood magic sunflower. It might even be the devil scorpion princess, so why don't you listen to that crazy old woman Wang Chongjin's nonsense? He Piqing reprimanded her with a sound transmission. But, do you think that this guy won't have a powerful guy protecting him by refining 500 sets of medicinal herbs in one go? Maybe he's on the scene. If we act rashly right now and the scene is in chaos, then we will lose face. He Piqing said. He Feng no longer spoke, but he believed that this person was Master Yan, which meant he was Chen Shang. Junior Martial Uncle is so lucky. If there's a chance, you have to trick him properly. Hua Shangyu scoffed. With his speed, both Relive Dan and 5 Elements Profound Dan will receive a large number. I wonder how he will be able to get rid of us then. Lu Zongyu said. I wonder if we can sell him to our human king Immortal country. Please don't, Junior Martial Uncle is very evil. In the past, eldest Senior Martial Brother was heavily deceived by him. Now, eldest Martial Brother doesn't even dare to do business with Junior Martial Uncle anymore. Hua Shangyu anxiously said. Dong Chen also told me about this. Wang Weiquan smiled slightly. This junior brother of mine really doesn't recognize any kin at all in this matter. If it's Shenxian, even sending him off is possible. Hua Shangyu laughed. You guys are regretting that you didn't bring Shenxian here now, right? Hua Shangyu still wanted to say that. In fact, Lu Munger could do it too, but she did not dare. She wanted to let Lu Zongyu and Song Ying know that her own daughter, master and disciple were captured by Chen Shang, and the consequences would be dire. Chapter 1347. Time flew by quickly. In comparison to the alchemist on the competition grounds, they felt that they did not have enough time. Chen Zhang's current rank was obviously the highest, at 20,000. Right now, when he refined the Relive Dan, he could get 2,000 points in 2 hours, and the competition would end in 8 hours. Long Perong was still in second place. Just as she had predicted before, she had refined 8 pills in one furnace for 4 hours, which was a total of 8,000 points. Li Tianjin, Bai Sha Dan Immortal and the Holy Dragon Dan Immortal were fighting with each other, and then with Du Hai, Xiao Profoundian and the Dan Immortal S, and then with the Dan Immortal S, and finally, the Dan Immortal S sent by He Piqing were fighting with each other. Those fellows have quite a bit of Relive Dan S, medicinal herbs. I wonder how long they have been storing them for. I never expected them to be so easy on me. I still have 8 hours to get 500 sets in 2 hours. Chen Shang was secretly delighted in his heart. Even if he did not obtain the divine cauldron in the end, just the high-grade ground-level pills he had refined during the competition would allow him to exchange for a large number of spiritual crystal. In the end, he had no choice but to use half of the longevity fruit to exchange for it. He did not want to encounter such a predicament again, and felt that if he met with the medicine that he liked, he would only be satisfied if he threw a large number of spiritual crystal out to exchange. In the blink of an eye, the time for the competition had arrived, yet Chen Shang was still steadily displaying his powers, controlling them extremely precisely. In an hour, 500 sets of medicinal ingredients caused the faces of the elders who were in charge of managing the medicinal ingredients to turn green, especially when they saw Chen Shang giggling while coming up to receive the medicinal ingredients. They could not help but want to slap him. Although he was the new king, his heart was bleeding as he saw the large amount of high-grade ground-level S that were being stored in the myriad Dan Immortal country being swept away like the wind and clouds. If it was given to them to refine, they would at most get 2 relive Dan pills each. On the other hand, Chen Shang had 4 pills, causing the price of the ingredients to double, which was why their hearts would ache. It was done. Chen Shang exhaled, and the 2,000 relive Dan were completed. It was also at this time that He Piqing ordered someone to ring the gong, and the competition ended. Chen Shang refined a total of 10,000 relive Dan S and 18,005 elements profound Dan, making a total of 28,000 points. He was ranked first and second place was still Long Perong. The third place was a bit unexpected. It was neither the Bai Sha Dan Immortal nor Li Tianjin, but the Holy Dragon Dan Immortal. The fourth place was Li Tianjin, the fifth place was the sixth Devil Suppressing Divine Palace, the seventh was Du Hai, the eighth was Shao Profoundian, and the ninth and 10th place were the mysterious Dan Immortal that He Piqing had sent. According to what they had agreed upon, Chen Shang being able to obtain the pellet that they refined made many people jealous and envious. This was a huge amount of wealth. Some people even felt sorry for He Piqing, even though he had just become the king of the immortal country. Alchemists who have not entered the top 10, please leave the stage. Everyone, rest for 6 hours. Then, we will continue with the finals and cannot leave the stage. He Piqing was afraid that Chen Shang would leave after getting a huge sum of money, and was also worried that he would be taken away by someone else after walking out of the competition grounds. He naturally suspected that Chen Shang was related to the Tianqian holy fruit, so he wanted to capture Chen Shang as well. Moreover, Chen Shang was currently in his myriad Dan Immortal country. As the king, how could he let others capture him in front of him? The green dragon demon slain broadsword and cultivation techniques on Chen Zhang's body, of course he would also think of it, it was something that could raise his strength by a large amount. Chen Shang sat down on the ground and closed his eyes to rest. Just at this time, the holy dragon Dan Immortal stood up and walked over to him. That guy is approaching in full fury, it seems like he's here to cause trouble. Long Shui said, if it really comes down to it, I'll make my move and join hands with you to kill him. Then, I'll have your master take you away. If they met Imperial Dragon Clan, Long Shui would always want to kill them. He did not understand why there was such hatred between Long Shui and the current Imperial Dragon Clan. No need, he wouldn't dare to do that. Chen Shang said. Seeing the Holy Dragon Dan Immortal walk towards Chen Shang, everyone's eyes lit up, they knew there was hope. They were only suspecting that he was Chen Shang now, but they could not confirm it, and this Holy Dragon Dan Immortal was extremely aggressive. It seemed like he dared to do it because of the Dragon Emperor's support, and He Piqing and the others did not plan to stop him, but they hoped that this Holy Dragon Dan Immortal would do something, and confirm that he really wanted it to happen. Chen Shang sat there without moving, his eyes still closed, as if he had fallen asleep. Are you Chen Shang? This Holy Dragon Dan Immortal was extremely direct, and immediately asked him the moment he arrived at his side. Chen Shang did not answer and pretended not to hear. He felt that there was no need to answer. You don't even dare to say who you belong to. What's the point of you living like this? The Holy Dragon Dan Immortal sneered, his handsome face full of ridicule. Chen Shang originally only wanted to face it silently, but the other party had provoked him so fiercely, he could not tolerate it anymore. Chen Shang laughed. In the previous round, I have already defeated you twice. You think that there's no meaning in me living, but you can't even compare to someone like me, who doesn't deserve to be alive. Why don't you hurry up and die? In any case, Chen Shang had already gifted him a holy dragon for death before. With a certain level of experience, he wasn't afraid of killing this dragon in front of him. The holy dragon Dan Immortal was a bit angry, but he kept his cool and asked, "Are you Chen Shang or not? You only need to answer whether I am or not." Chen Shang stood up, and the smile on his face disappeared, and he said coldly, "Who do you think you are? Why must I tell you?" Hearing Chen Zhang's words, everyone secretly perspired for him. He actually dared to say what this holy dragon was. He had a dragon emperor on him. It was possible that he was this holy dragon's father. However, everyone was even more certain that he was Chen Shang. This was because only leaders would not be afraid of dragons, and they would always be at odds with dragons. Looking at Chen Zhang's expression, he seemed to want to attack even more than the holy dragon. "You, could it be that you don't know?" Chen Shang suddenly sneered, and interrupted him. "Oh, I thought you were powerful, but I didn't think you would have to move your backer out. Although I am weak, I have never done such a shameful thing." The Dan Immortal was furious. Walking in the heaven realm, using the name of the Imperial Dragon Clan and the father of the Dragon Emperor was indeed harmful. Just his reputation alone was enough to scare people to death. But if he were to bring it out now, it would be a sign of weakness. Chapter 1348. The Holy Dragon Dan Immortal was speechless. He had thought that the person in front of him would be extremely afraid of him, because the Dragon Emperor was also here. Furthermore, he was a holy dragon himself, but who would have thought that he would actually contradict him like this? Chen Shang sat down and closed his eyes to continue his rest. The divine dragon Dan Immortal was furious and anxious. He really wanted to kill Chen Shang with a single palm strike. He endured the pain in his heart as he turned around to return to his seat. Chen Shang wouldn't admit his identity now, because the finals were about to start. He would be able to obtain that divine cauldron very soon, and if he admitted it now, then something would happen that would make him unable to participate. This guy must be joking. Long Shui said with a laugh. He thought that everyone would be extremely afraid of their Imperial Dragon Clan, and that you would answer whenever he casually asked. He should be very inexperienced. Because of his own holy dragon, he is very arrogant, and I think it would be the same even if he was in the Imperial Dragon Clan. Chen Shang said. This guy definitely thinks that he is too high up in the world, so he won't go into the mortal world to train. His background and the environment he grew up in is what he is destined to be, unless he comes to some realization later on. Long Shui understood these emperor dragons very well. Right now, it was resting time. Originally, they had thought that there would be a show to watch, but who knew that the divine dragon Dan Immortal would actually submit? Most of the people present were sure that the pill-refining madman was Chen Shang, because there were some astonishing deeds regarding Chen Zhang's pill refining that had been passed over from DTN previously. Even some of the alchemists knew about it. At the same time, they also wanted to see what kind of existence this leader, who had founded the dragon subduing school with the slaughter of the dragons as the purpose of the sect, was. At the same time, they also wanted to see the green dragon demon slaying broadsword that was renowned throughout the 9 heavens. Junior brother, don't be afraid, your eldest senior brother and I will protect you. Furthermore, the king of human King Immortal country is here as well, and Meng Er's parents are also here. Our strength is not bad, so we will definitely not let anything happen to you. Xiao Profoundian felt the atmosphere become a little tense, because the people around him were all discussing how the great powers would deal with Chen Shang. Thank you, junior sister. However, I don't need you to focus on me for the time being. I have long prepared for this. Chen Shang replied. HMPH, can't you just call me senior sister? Xiao Profoundian scoffed. Hee, can you not call me senior brother? We are all alchemists, and I should be qualified to be your senior. Chen Shang laughed. Xiao Profoundian no longer bothered about this matter with Chen Shang, or else she really would have submitted and lost later. She didn't want to be this brat's junior sister. Is Master here too? Why haven't I seen him? Xiao Profoundian asked. He's here. Like me, Master is a troublesome person, so he doesn't want to disturb the quiet life of the two of you. Chen Shang said. We're not afraid of being disturbed at all. With him around, I'm relieved. Xiao Profoundian sighed softly. Just now, Xiao Profoundian was having a hard time refining pills, so she only chatted with Chen Shang for a bit before resting. Chen Shang recovered very quickly. With the help of the yin and yang god blood in his body, he was able to absorb the immortal qi at an astonishing rate. Adding on the medicinal pills he had consumed, he would quickly recover to his peak condition. After about 2 hours, Long Huishan's voice suddenly appeared in his mind. Chen Shang, is that you? I'm your big sister Long. Long Huishan asked. Chen Shang pondered for a moment, then replied to the divine sense in her mind, "Big Sister Long, long time no see, how have you been?" Long Huishan was only able to send a sound transmission to Chen Shang through a large formation with the help of the very high elder. "Brat, you didn't even come to the heaven realm to look for me. Do you think I'm not powerful enough to deal with a god of pests like you?" Long Huishan's tone before was still very gentle, but now it had become extremely berserk. "That's not it, I just want to try it by myself. It's good for me, so I thank elder sister for her concern." "Oh right, how is little Ling doing at your place?" Chen Shang asked. "She is your little sister, and also my little sister, so you don't have to worry about her. I gave a dragon pearl to her, and she is currently in a deep slumber while fusing with the dragon pearl. Once she is done fusing with it, her body and other aspects will improve greatly, and the disadvantages of having her strength increased will gradually disappear." Long Huishan said, "What about you? Your current situation isn't too good. Do you want me to make a move?" "No need," Chen Shang said, but his heart was warm, because many people still cared about him. "HMPH, you've helped me so much, can't you let me help you? If the competition ends, those big powers will definitely surround you. When that time comes, how can you break out? At least our Long family can make a hole for you to escape." Long Huishan said in dissatisfaction, because she really wanted to help Chen Shang. "Big sis, just watch. After the competition is over, I'll go look for you after I've dealt with my matters." Even if Huang Jintian was not here, he could still have run away by himself. He did not want the Long family to face off against so many forces. The 3 hours of rest quickly passed by. Currently, there were only 10 alchemists on the wide competition grounds and they were about to enter the finals. This was also what Chen Shang was looking forward to very, very much. At the same time, he was also a bit worried, because the rules for the competition wasn't something that was set completely at the start, but rather something that was announced just before every match. This made Chen Shang extremely dissatisfied. Before, everyone's performance was very outstanding. Now that we've reached this step, it's not easy. There's still one more match, and we'll know who's the winner. Now we announce the rules of the tournament. Our rules have always been very fair and just, and the same goes for the third match. The third round will be different from the previous matches. We will use a method that will determine the victor in this round. This way, everyone can focus even more on concocting a batch of pills and be able to unleash all of their strength. In terms of numbers, no one could compare to Chen Shang, so the third round did not depend on numbers to win. It was equivalent to weakening Chen Zhang's advantage. In this final round, we will only focus on the quality of the pills. In order for alchemists to focus on refining pills, we will not compete in speed or quantity but in quality. Hearing this, Chen Shang laughed coldly in his heart, because these were all his forte. In this way, it was equivalent to weakening his 2 advantages. If we're just looking at the quality, then this isn't easy to judge. Because at our level, the quality of the pills we concoct will be of the highest quality. The vansh.saran Immortal said. "That's not right, high-quality goods also have peak quality S." Du Hai said. "However, how should we judge if everyone is refining a high-quality pill together?" What vansh.saran Immortal said was also what everyone wanted to ask. Is there a requirement for everyone to concoct a type of pill when concocting pills? If it's a high-grade pill, it would be unfair to the alchemist who can only concoct low-grade pills. If it's concocted low-grade pills, some alchemist would not be able to display their abilities. Long Perong said. He Piqing laughed and continued to speak. "Everyone, I've thought of the problem earlier, that the alchemist would come up with a high-quality immortal equipment." He Piqing took out a round plate. In the middle of the plate, there was a depression in the ground, and on it He Piqing placed a low-grade ground-level low-grade, and extremely poor quality, pill. He only saw the pointer on the round plate turn, and then, it stopped at the word, 3. The quality of this pill is only 3. As He Piqing said that, he took another high-grade heaven-level pellet, which was of poor quality, and with the spin of the needle, it stopped at 4. Following that, He Piqing even had the alchemist who was in the finals inspect it carefully to confirm that there were no problems with the immortal equipment. They tried putting the pills into various ranks, and the quality was similar to what they had expected. The highest quality pills ranged from 50 to 70, and there were a few with extremely high quality pills that could reach up to 80. That disc's index finger mark was at most 100. If it exceeds 100, Xiao Profoundian asked. The peak quality refined by our myriad Dan Immortal country's 7th stage Dan Immortal has reached the 97th stage, but there hasn't been over 100 of it yet. If there are over 100, then the array will spin a bit more and our refiner thinks that 100 is considered to be the peak. He Piching said. Chen Shang had Long Shui inspect the Immortal equipment carefully, but he did not find any signs of connection with other people, so he was not afraid of He Piching and the others cheating. Furthermore, they did not dare, because the big powers, Imperial Dragon Clan, Fire Divine Palace and the Long family were participating in the love competition. Chapter 1349, that is to say, when everyone is refining pills, you all can choose to refine your own best pills, and everyone should have the herbs, if not, you can also buy them from us, and in the end, you all have to judge by the quality of the pill, and everyone has tried that Immortal equipment, so no matter what pill you choose, everyone should be able to see the results of the test. As long as you refine the pellets that you are most adept at, and raise the quality to the peak, you would be considered an extraordinary alchemist. He Piching said. Chen Shang secretly heaved a sigh of relief. He never thought that the final round would be so fair. We have the Immortal equipment used for that test too. I didn't think that myriad Dan Immortal country would be able to get it out. There shouldn't be a problem, this is considered fair. Looks like myriad Dan Immortal country would use this method in the end. I believe they are confident in their two alchemists. Lu Zongyu said, then looked at Lu Munger and asked, Munger, how powerful is that Chen Shang in terms of the quality of pill refining? He was once able to refine peak quality S in the Sacred Dan realm, and even 2 of them. Right now, he must have made a huge breakthrough in the area of alchemy, but he shouldn't be able to refine them all at that time, but if he wants to win, he should be very confident in winning. Lu Munger said. Wang Weiquan laughed. Seems like Yuner had an exchange with junior brother, and will let the 2 of them have a go at this. Honestly speaking, I really don't know who should win. On the other hand, had decided to refine a Hunyuan Dan, and he still had a portion of Hunyuan Dan's medicinal ingredients on hand. The best quality pills Chen Shang had refined was not the peak quality, but pills that had produced holy light. Chen Shang was very confident in himself, but the others did not see him in that way, especially He Piching. He had racked his brains to come up with such a rule, because if he did, he would be able to increase the distance between Chen Shang and the other Dan Immortal. In common sense, the pills refined by the Dan Immortal were much better than those refined by the other Dan Kings. Especially when the Dan Immortal was extremely serious about refining pills, it was easiest to refine peak quality without chasing after speed or quantity of pills. He Piching stayed in the myriad Dan Immortal country for a very long time. He had never seen a Dan King or pill sect that could refine a peak quality, and most of them could only do so by using the Dan Immortals themselves. Of course, this rule also favored the 2 mysterious Dan Immortals that he had sent over. Because those 2 Dan Immortals were extremely skilled in refining peak quality, they also had a fighting chance, and 2 of them at that. Using 12 hours to focus on 1 furnace of pills, he would definitely not be lacking anything. Previously, everyone had seen how terrifying Chen Shang was when he was refining pills, but they were more inclined to the way Chen Shang did it, because he was fast, he produced a lot of pills and the quality was high. The match begins. The gong vibrated, and Alchemist took out the herbs. Right now, they were not in a hurry, because there was no need to rush it anymore. This way, they could truly display their abilities very well. Chen Shang took out the Hunyuan Dan's medicinal ingredients. Seeing the Hunyuan fruit and the Hunyuan tree root in his hands, everyone was a little surprised, because everyone originally thought that he did not know how to refine the heaven-level pellet. However, in the previous match, he did not refine it, but thinking about it, he could understand, because he could win even if he refined a ground-level pill, so of course he would refine a ground-level pill, and also get a large amount of ground-level pellets. Chen Shang took out the 7-star treasure furnace. Currently, every alchemist was carefully organizing the medicinal ingredients, and a few elders who were in charge of supervising the competition walked down to check every alchemist's pill furnace, in order to prevent anyone from hiding things inside in advance to cheat. And according to the legends, the pill furnace Chen Shang used was similar to the Yanlong furnace S refined by Yanlong Z. It was a holy level dragon artifact, and was many times more precious than the top-grade immortal equipment, but now, he still did not take it out at this crucial point, making people wonder if he was Chen Shang. Now, Chen Shang did not need to hide it anymore, it was just that everyone did not understand how the water jar furnace could help Chen Shang with his foreseeing alchemy. Of course, it would be better to use Yanlong furnace, but no one could be sure if that was the Yanlong furnace before, so he did not plan to take it out. There were too many people who knew what was happening, and once he took it out, they would definitely recognize him. Chen Shang observed for a while and discovered that the other Dan Immortals had all chosen to refine high-grade heaven-level pills. Previously, when they went to gather the ingredients, they still had a lot left, so they did not lack high-grade heaven-level ingredients, but to refine immortal pills, 24 hours was simply not enough. Moreover, it was not something that could be casually bought. In order to purchase a superior grade heaven-level pill, one had to first pay a fee of spiritual crystal at some large pill stores and then wait for the notification. Sometimes, it would take up to a year or so to arrive. Furthermore, most powers would not sell high-grade heaven-level pills. This was because it was very useful to worldly immortals and they had the most number of worldly immortals in each power. Do you want to use that method? Su Meiyao asked. The method she was talking about was letting the herbs be refined by hand, which would allow him to better control the quality of the ingredients. If he were to use the god purification in the pill furnace, the results wouldn't be that good. After all, he was pursuing the highest quality. This is the only way. For the sake of the divine cauldron, Chen Shang said. Only Wang Chongjin had seen everyone here, so once Chen Shang used it, he would be able to immediately confirm Chen Zhang's identity. Initially, this was how Chen Shang defeated her, but at that time, Chen Shang had turned into an old man, pretending to be a mysterious elder of the dragon subduing school. Chen Shang opened the lid of the pill furnace and threw all the supplementary ingredients in. Surprisingly, no main ingredient was put in, which made people feel weird, because most of the situations were done at the same time. One of the Hunyuan Dan's main ingredients, Hunyuan fruit, was currently on top of Chen Zhang's palm. He slightly frowned, looked at the Hunyuan fruit in his palm, and a ball of multicolored flames suddenly rose out of nowhere, covering the entire palm of his hand, burning the Hunyuan fruit. What is he doing? Long Huishan said in shock. He's refining Hunyuan fruit. His pill refining method was originally the same as before, but before, it was done in the pill furnace, and now, he directly uses the medicinal ingredients on his own body, allowing him to better control the quality of the medicinal ingredients refined. The very high elder immediately saw through it. If Chen Shang was here, he would definitely be surprised, because he could roughly guess the principles behind the god purification. It's actually him. Wang Chongjin's expression changed greatly, and then he told her about when she went to Dragon Subduing City to compete in pill refining. This bastard, I didn't think that he would run out of that divine seal array a long time ago and play the part of an elder to fiercely defeat me. I didn't think that he would be the one to defeat me. Wang Chongjin's face was filled with anger. This little B***start is definitely going to win. The pills he concocts will definitely have a light to them, and their quality has already exceeded the limit. Wang Chongjin's words caused all the other big shots of Fire Divine Palace in the VIP box to be shocked. They were all strong practitioners who controlled strong flames, so they knew about the pill refining process and the pill light. Chen Shang was not someone who could give out elixirs with a single furnace of Hunyuan Dan. After that one time, he had also refined many pots of Hunyuan Dan, but none of them could give out elixirs. It seems like the pill's appearance was coincidental. If you don't have a breakthrough now, I'm afraid you won't be able to obtain the pill's glow and might not get first place. I believe you already have a plan. Seeing that Chen Shang was so confident, she must be confident in refining a Hunyuan Dan that could emit the light of the pills. Chen Shang did not reply. Instead, he carefully looked at the Hunyuan fruit on his palm that was being incinerated by the multicolored heavenly fire. After a while, he said, don't disappoint me. Su Meiyao chuckled, and your Yi sis. Chapter 1350. At this moment, the competition arena was completely empty. Only the 10 alchemists were here, and moreover, there was no longer the nervous atmosphere from before, because currently, the alchemists were competing not in terms of speed, but in terms of extreme quality. In order to allow these 10 alchemists to display their level of power, the competition had even activated a sound isolating array, which could isolate the noise outside and allow the alchemist to have a quiet environment. Right now, they were only a step away from becoming first place. In order to refine the highest quality pellets, they had to use their strongest power to refine pills, and every alchemist had a serious expression on their face, not relaxing in the slightest. Other than Chen Shang, the other 9 had all been Dan Immortals, and some of them were extremely famous. When Chen Shang saw that all of the Dan Immortal had given their all, he immediately felt a lot of pressure. He would not allow such a thing to happen, so he chose to use his most powerful pill refining abilities. That's the only way. Chen Shang frowned. The flames spewed out from the center of his palm suddenly flickered with a burst of strong light, after which it erupted with multicolored light, shining in all directions. Seeing this scene, everyone was silent for a moment before they suddenly cried out in alarm. Isn't that the legendary seven-colored heavenly fire? It is said that there are only a few people in the 9 heavens who can use the seven-colored heavenly fire. I did not expect that I would actually see it with my own eyes in this competition. It is really amazing. Isn't the Long family's Dan Immortal able to release the sacred fire? He might already be using it right now, and it's even stronger than the seven-colored heavenly fire. That's not necessarily true. The sacred flame is too powerful, and it doesn't mean that it can be used. Releasing it wouldn't be of much use if you can't control it well. But now, this person can control the rainbow heaven flames so well, so much better than releasing the sacred flame. Everyone had heard about the rainbow sky flame. However, they were able to witness it with their own eyes. They felt that their trip this time around had not been in vain. Chen Shang had released the rainbow heaven flame, but the other 9 Dan Immortals all felt a great amount of pressure, because being able to control this flame to refine pills was extremely helpful in raising the quality of the pills. Legend has it that Long Perong could use the sacred flame, but the competition had lasted for a long time and the other Dan Immortals had yet to sense the holy fire aura Long Perong released from her furnace. Although the rainbow heaven flame was strong, and was very useful in refining pills, it was currently crazily burning the innate qi in Chen Zhang's body. Chen Shang had already calculated this beforehand, so even if he used the rainbow heaven flame, the powerful 9 heavenly pellets in his body would be more than enough to use up the vast innate qi. Very High Elder, if Granny Long uses the sacred fire, can she refine a pill that can release the sacred light? Long Huishan was also surprised to see Chen Shang able to use the rainbow sky fire. She did not expect to actually grow so fast without seeing Chen Shang for a period of time. Yan Zilan asked curiously, is Granny Long's sacred flame really, as those people say, unusable? Then, he looked at the ball of flames in Chen Zhang's palm that was shooting out multicolored light, and said, letting out the sacred flame itself already requires the consumption of a large amount of innate qi. Last time I taught her how to use it, she had only released a hair's size, and the innate qi on her entire body was completely used up. How strong was she back then? Long Huishan asked. Late-stage immortal monarch, although she is now an immortal king, the sacred fire won't take long. Whether she can use a little of the sacred fire to refine pills will depend on herself. If possible, this will undoubtedly be a huge breakthrough. The Very High Elder sighed. Yan Zilan was now even more respectful to the Very High Elder. To be able to teach others how to use the sacred flame, his cultivation must not be simple, perhaps he had already surpassed the immortal king. When Chen Shang refined the Hunyuan fruit with the 7-colored heaven flame, he had even injected a special kind of energy from the rainbow heaven flame into the medicinal powder. The powder was a divine energy that had been baked by the 7-colored heaven flame, mixed with the medicinal herbs, causing the quality to be even higher. After 4 hours, Chen Shang very slowly and earnestly refined the Hunyuan fruit, and at this moment, he had a ball of mist in his palm that was radiating light all around. He carefully placed the refined Hunyuan fruit into the 7-star explosion furnace, then took out the Hunyuan tree root and continued to use the rainbow heaven flame to refine it, and he also poured a small amount of the rainbow heaven flame into the furnace to refine it. Just as Chen Shang had just started to refine the Hunyuan tree root with the rainbow heaven flame, he suddenly sensed a burst of strong fire aura floating towards him. Chen Shang was not the only one who sensed it, everyone in the arena could feel that. He Piqing anxiously took a few steps back, because the feeling of danger from the flame was simply too great. Is this the sacred fire? Chen Shang frowned, beads of perspiration actually appearing on his forehead. The other Dan Immortals were also moved, because that berserk flame was inside Long Perong's pill furnace, it seemed as if it could erupt at any time. It is precisely the sacred fire. It is indeed terrifying, Su Meiyao said. The flame little scoundrel released last time, which means that the flames inside his innate qi can be consumed in one breath. Long Shui asked. I don't know yet, but it seems that it is much more terrifying than the sacred flame. I wonder what kind of flame it is. Su Meiyao said. The junior master who taught me alchemy in the past, was also able to use the sacred flame. He was different from the flames that little scoundrel used, so the one he used wasn't the sacred flame. Once Long Perong used the sacred flame, his face immediately became serious, and the sacred flame did not last for long, but in the eyes of many, it was extremely powerful, and could be used for a short period of time, which would be of great help in refining pills. Of course, Chen Zhang's rainbow heaven flame was even better, but it was just that it was not easy for him to cultivate it. As for how to cultivate and master these powerful heaven flames, he had never found a way to do it, and it was said that the majority of it was due to his fortuitous encounters, while the sacred flame was a method of cultivation, but it was not something that anyone could use, because the consumption of innate qi was too terrifying. Even an immortal king would not be able to withstand the consumption. If it was in the past, a cauldron like this would only last 6 hours at most, but now, after 6 hours, no one had opened the pill furnace. It was obvious that it was of high quality, and every alchemist would slow down their pace and diligently refine it. Chen Shang had already refined the Hunyuan tree root and placed it into the pill furnace. Chapter 1351. Seeing Chen Zhang's rainbow heaven flame, Lu Meng'er said softly, "With this kind of flame, it would be a bit of a waste if I don't refine it. I wonder if he will have time in the future. I'll teach him how to refine artifacts. My master also used a lot of time to cultivate and produce the 7-colored heavenly fire, but this brat is the same age as Shenxian, yet he can control the 7-colored heavenly fire so easily. No wonder he was so ambitious, daring to create a dragon-subduing school, and dared to fight against so many powers." Lu Zongyu sighed. "I wonder if Junior Apprentice Brothers' dragon-subduing school still wants more people. I should be able to go and mix in with the elders or something like that." Wang Weiquan grinned. "Master, the elders in the young master's dragon-subduing school are all a bunch of brats. Yun Xiaodao, Zhu Rong and the rest of the little brats are all elders of the dragon-subduing school. If you go, you will definitely be looked down upon by them." Hua Shangyu laughed. "So that's how it is. No wonder when I was going to introduce master to them, they weren't interested in the slightest, and instead had a very arrogant look on their faces." Wang Weiquan laughed. Lu Meng'er said, "Shenxian, Yulan and the rest are often sparring with that group of brats. That group of brats are also quite strong, and they all cultivate very mysterious skills. Don't forget that Dragon Subduing School has a very powerful Great Elder who can fight against Dragon Emperor." Back then, when Lu Meng'er's group was stopped by the Dragon Emperor, it was the White Tiger that suddenly appeared and told the Dragon Emperor to retreat. That means we underestimated that group of brats before. However, aren't they too low profile? They even acted sloppy all the time, and no matter how you look at it, they don't seem like the elders from a large power. Right now, Yun Xiaodao and the others were in the Human King Immortal country, but they did not join the Human King Immortal country. Initially, Wu Kanghong and Lu Zongyu had the intention to rope Chen Shang in, but this was not realistic, because Chen Shang was originally a leader from a big sect. However, forming an alliance with him was not a problem. The final match wouldn't determine one's ranking, but first place was the most meaningful match. Currently, everyone was trying their best to concoct the best quality pills and compete for first place. From the looks of it, anyone could possibly get first place, because these 10 alchemists were all very skilled. This was a mysterious Dan Immortal sent by He Piqing. He was able to refine a high-grade heaven-level pill, a 9 primal creation pellet, refined from 9 nature fruit, a good fortune pellet refined from one of them was a mid-grade heaven level, far inferior to the 9 primal creation pellet. The market for this kind of pill was very big, it was one of the most favored pills of many immortals, and the price was not low either. There were several Dan Immortal who were present to refine this type of pill, because the ingredients for the 9 elements creation pill were more abundant. As long as one was not too poor, they could be bought with a large number of spiritual crystal. The Dan Immortal was very confident in his 9 yuan creation pill. After he was done concocting, he immediately went to the testing immortal equipment and placed the pill in the middle of the concave. The finger array on top of the disc immediately rotated, and then stopped at the 88 mark, which was actually not above 90%. This made He Piqing feel disappointed. To these Dan Immortals, it could be said that they had spent a long time concocting a batch of high-grade heaven-level pills in 18 hours, but the quality was still so poor. It could be seen that this Dan Immortal was not that amazing. There were many famous Dan Immortal under the myriad Dan Immortal country, but they could not participate in the competition. The hosts could not send people to participate. Afterwards, the devil-suppressing divine palace also completed it. It was also a 9 yuan creation pill. From the fragrance and the clouds of light outside, one could not see the exact quality, because all the high-quality pills were like that, but this was not peak quality. The specialty of the devil-suppressing divine palace was not pill refining, but it was already pretty good for them to have such a powerful Dan Immortal. He came to the side of the Immortal testing tool and started his test. The needle fiercely turned and jumped to 94. The devil-suppressing divine palace was very satisfied with his result, and revealed a smile on his face. The peak quality refined by myriad Dan Immortal countries' 7th stage Dan Immortal was also only 97 years old, but it was still 3 years away from being refined. However, the higher the quality of a technique, the more easily one would be able to break through. Although there was a difference of 3 levels, it was still possible that he would find it difficult to break through to this level in his entire lifetime. The 3rd Dan Immortal to complete was Imperial Dragon Clan's Holy Dragon Dan Immortal. Many people believed that there was a high chance for him to get first place, because he had performed exceptionally well in the previous competition. What he had refined was a heaven-level Holy Dragon's Blood pill. This pill's medicinal ingredients were probably only easy to obtain by their Holy Dragon's blood. The main ingredient was the Holy Dragon's essence blood. Holding the golden pellet in his hand, he confidently came to the side of the testing disc. He was confident that he could surpass devil-suppressing divine palace. The finger array rotated and stopped at the 96th mark. Seeing this result, everyone was secretly surprised, because it was just a little bit away from the peak quality. Seeing that he had been defeated, the Dan Immortal's smile disappeared as he shook his head and sighed. However, the final result was not out yet, because there were still 7 alchemists that had not been completed, and these 7 alchemists were all very powerful. The 4th to complete pill was Duhai, who was a 3rd grade Dan Immortal. This kind of Dan Immortal could be considered relatively noble, and he was participating in the competition on behalf of the sacred Dan realm, so he refined a high-grade heaven level called Great Nirvana pill. After consuming this kind of pill, he would let himself fall into a deep sleep, and then recover from his injuries at a terrifying rate, suitable for the severely injured and unconscious Dan Immortal to consume. After Duhai placed the Great Nirvana pill on top, he turned his finger towards the 94th place, causing him to helplessly talk. Although he did not get first place, he still knew his own level. Right now, the one in the lead was still the Holy Dragon Dan Immortal, with a score of 96. Following that, Li Tianjin also completed the process. He had also concocted the 9 yuan creation pellet, which made people feel that he had a higher chance of obtaining the points. At this moment, the face of the Holy Dragon Dan Immortal tensed up. He was worried that Li Tianjin would surpass him. 96. He Piqing said, if the final high score is the same, then how would it count? The Holy Dragon Dan Immortal heaved a sigh of relief and asked anxiously. In that case, all of you can continue to refine until a high and low level is determined. He Piqing said. The peak quality that was refined by a 7th stage Dan Immortal was 97. Now that they had reached 96 and reached the highest level possible for a 7th stage Dan Immortal, both Li Tianjin and the Holy Dragon Dan Immortal were more satisfied with themselves. I'm finally done. When the Fire Divine Palace opened the furnace, it did not shoot out any light, so it was clear that it was not peak quality. At this moment, Li Tianjin was more concerned about the Bai Sha Dan Immortal's score. He had lost everything earlier because of this Bai Sha Dan Immortal, and it seemed like he had made a bet with this Bai Sha Dan Immortal. Therefore, the Bai Sha Dan Immortal's face was very heavy, because Li Tianjin's score was not low. Chapter 1352, I wonder how this Bai Sha Dan Immortal is doing. She's at least a 5th stage Dan Immortal, she shouldn't be too bad. Su Meiyao said. This Bai Sha Dan Immortal had once lost to her. It was said that after losing, she took off her clothes and strolled around in a palace. What Bai Sha Dan Immortal refined was a Heaven's Longevity pill, a high-grade heaven-level pill that could increase one's lifespan. She placed it in the middle of the disc and stared at the spinning pointer. 95. He Piqing's voice made Bai Sha Dan Immortal's heart feel as if it was struck, and he retreated a few steps. It seemed like she and Li Tianjin had a huge bet, and it was obvious from her pale face. Even if Li Tianjin did not take first place, he had still won against Bai Sha Dan Immortal. As for what the bet was, that was something everyone wanted to know. Right now, the ones in the lead were Li Tianjin and the Holy Dragon Dan Immortal, but they still felt a lot of pressure, because Long Perong had not completed his task. As for Chen Shang, who could use the 7-colored heavenly fire, the low-grade heaven-level pills refined by him, they did not ignore them either, because in the previous 2 matches, Chen Shang had been far ahead of everyone else and had taken first place. Xiao Profoundian was done concocting the Sky Life pill. Of course she wanted to win, but the competition was too competitive, so she just hoped that she was not too bad. After all, she was still very young, and Chen Shang was already her 95. Said. This result gave him some hope, because there was still one Dan Immortal he had sent out that hadn't completed the core formation stage. The same level as Bai Sha Dan Immortal. This caused Xiao Profoundian to reveal a sweet smile, which made Bai Sha Dan Immortal look extremely unhappy. However, when Xiao Profoundian saw Chen Shang, his smile immediately disappeared. If Chen Shang was stronger than her, then she would be considered as his junior sister. She had lost to Chen Shang 3 times in a row, so she didn't have the confidence to compete with Chen Shang for her number 2 position. Now, there was still the mysterious Dan Immortal sent by Chen Shang, Long Perong and the others. Long Perong and Chen Shang both had their eyes closed. It was obvious that there was still some time before the pill condensed stage, and the mysterious Dan Immortal's pill furnace was already shaking slightly. It should be in the process of condensing a pill. Not long after, the Dan Immortal that He Piching sent over opened the pill furnace, but no pill light still appeared, meaning that it was not peak quality. In the eyes of many Dan Immortal, if they wanted to refine a peak quality, they would need a bit of luck or else it would be difficult to do so. 96. He Piching was more satisfied, because right now, only the peak quality could surpass this number. Now, there were only Long Perong and Chen Shang. Since Long Perong was able to use the sacred flame, many people thought that she could refine pills with light. At this moment, her pill furnace was shaking slightly, obviously concocting pills. Chen Shang frowned slightly at this moment as he looked at Long Perong's pill furnace with divine soul. The pill furnace stopped shaking, Long Perong opened the pill furnace, and golden light shone out, the pill fragrance permeating everywhere. The Holy Dragon Dan Immortal, Li Tianjin and He Piching all sighed in their hearts. The appearance of a pill light meant that it was definitely more than 96 times the number of people in the peak quality. The peak quality of the heaven-level pill could release a pill light, but the light was much weaker than the one Chen Shang had refined previously. Calm down, you still have hope. Her pill light is too inferior to yours. Su Meiyao felt that Chen Shang was getting impatient, she anxiously used her gentle voice to stabilize him. The more he hoped for it, the more afraid he would be of losing it. Right now, Chen Shang was just like this, because he really wanted to obtain that divine cauldron. However, when Long Perong took out the pellet, he felt a sense of loss. Long Perong lived up to everyone's expectations, the high-grade heaven-level pills that were refined gave off a rare pill light, and at this moment, she walked towards the testing platform with the peak quality in her hand. The high-grade heaven-level sacred animal Dan S made Long Shui immediately salivate. For people with dragon blood in their bodies, eating sacred animal Dan would also have an effect, which was why Long Perong was able to refine this pill. 98. He Piching exclaimed. It was actually higher than the myriad Dan Immortal country's 7th stage peak quality. Although it was only an extra point, the difference was still huge. Otherwise, there wouldn't have been that many 96 of them previously. There are only 4 hours left before the competition ends. He Piching looked at Chen Shang and said, only he hasn't completed it yet, I wonder if he can bring us even more surprises. Chen Shang was just an alchemist who knew how to refine heaven-level pills. To let him refine pills that were higher than the 98 levels was extremely difficult. Many people did not think highly of him, because he had to reach the 99 levels. I wonder if he can defeat Grandma Long. She's really amazing, Long Huishan said in a low voice. Let's wait and see. There are still 4 more hours. Deep in her heart, she hoped that Chen Shang would take first place. Very High Elder, if it were you, how much quality would you have achieved? Long Huishan asked curiously. 97, 98 is fine. If I were to refine a few more batches, 99 is also possible. The Very High Elder chuckled. If that kid can defeat Wronger, I'll cut off my beard. Long Huishan laughed. You said it yourself, don't go back on your words when the time comes. The Very High Elder was very confident in his daughter. He smiled and said, Wronger has already reached an extremely high level, she was able to use sacred flame for a very short period of time, which is why she was able to produce such a high quality. Even I, may only be on par with her, this peak quality. Although Chen Shang is exceptional, being able to control the rainbow heaven flames and walk a different path of alchemy, he is still too young, after all, and the result of the peak quality is something that would take many years to refine. If he knew that Chen Shang had refined a Hunyuan Dan that released pill light before, he wouldn't have said that. Everyone was waiting for Chen Shang, and Chen Shang was just like the elder Uncle Li from before, sleeping. In Chen Zhang's previous 2 matches, His pill refining speed was truly terrifying, but the slowest one was still him, who gave people a feeling of unfathomability. It's not enough yet. If I can't find a solution to the problem, I will lose. Chen Shang thought. The ball of energy inside the pill furnace had already been split into 4, he wanted to condense 4 Hunyuan Dan-s. Just when he was at his wit's end, he began to quickly flip through the heavenly alchemy. He remembered that he once read about a period where it had something to do with helping to raise one's quality. Very quickly, he found that part, only that it was somewhat difficult to control, and would consume all of the divine power in his body and the innate qi. Little naughty dragon, after I finish refining this pill, I will use up most of my energy. When that time comes, you must be careful. If anyone dares to sneak attack me, you must immediately take me with you. Chen Shang said. Under the situation where he was surrounded by enemies, using up all of his energy was extremely dangerous. Chapter 1353. Long Shui immediately responded. With me here, you can boldly go and torment yourself. Let them see your strength, and let this group of bumpkins, who have never seen the world, broaden their horizons. Towards Chen Shang, Long Shui was full of confidence, and at the same time, she was also prepared to take action to protect Chen Shang. Although Chen Shang had yet to admit her identity, most of the powerhouses had already confirmed that he was Chen Shang. Chen Shang was not confident that he could surpass Long Perong in terms of quality, so he found a method from the heavenly alchemy that could help him improve the quality of the pills. He did not know what it was called, but it was one of the heavenly alchemy and could be considered a small technique, so it did not have a name like the Dawen refining method. Let's call it elemental increasing technique. Chen Shang gave this method a name, because it could improve quality. Although he was not sure if it would succeed, he still planned to give it a try. Although there were still 4 hours until the end of the competition, everyone was waiting impatiently, because at the moment, only Chen Shang was not done refining, and everyone was looking forward to it. Suddenly, Chen Zhang's pill furnace trembled. Upon seeing this, everyone became happy. They thought that it was a sign of condensing a pill, but after a slight tremble, it became motionless. However, all of the immortal qi in the entire arena was slowly surging towards Chen Zhang's pill furnace and formed a spiral around it. The dense immortal qi was emitting a faint white glow, and from afar, it looked extremely beautiful. Everyone did not know what was going on, but they knew that this was Chen Zhang's unique pill refining technique, and previously, Chen Shang had already displayed a unique technique to refine a few hundred sets of medicinal ingredients at the same time. Now that something strange had occurred, everyone was not surprised, they were curious as to why he was doing this. Very High Elder, what is he doing? Long Huishan asked. Although the Long family she was in charge of was a great pill refining power in the sacred Dan realm, she did not know how to refine pills. Seems like he's absorbing immortal energy into the pill furnace, so he wants to use immortal energy to improve the quality of the pill, but that won't work. Over the past 10 million years, many alchemists have tried, I have tried many times, but I was unable to use this method to improve the quality of the pill. That very high elder was also very suspicious, but he knew that Chen Shang was different from the other alchemist, so he didn't try to blame it on Chen Shang for his own failure. Chen Shang was indeed absorbing a large amount of immortal energy into the pill furnace, but he was not injecting the pills into it to raise the quality of the pill, rather, he was using the Yuan Ascension technique to assimilate the immortal energy into the pills, becoming a type of strange energy that could perfectly fuse with the pill. As long as it was fused into the pill, it could improve the quality of the pill. However, it was extremely difficult because there were very few people who could assimilate the large amount of immortal qi that had been absorbed. Furthermore, Chen Shang had to release a large amount of innate qi and divine power to guide and refine the immortal qi. If one were to absorb immortal qi like a house, after transforming it into medicine aura and medicinal powder, they would only be as big as grains of sand, so they would need to absorb a lot of immortal qi. He had used up a large amount of god power and innate qi, and had even absorbed a large amount of immortal qi, all to change a tiny bit of the energy that could improve the quality of the medicinal pellets. Based on Chen Zhang's current strength, he would need to exhaust a whole 9 levels of power in his body in order to succeed. Other than Chen Shang, no one knew what he was doing right now. It was just that he was using a mysterious technique of alchemy. Long Perong had originally thought that she could take first place, but seeing how serious Chen Shang was, she felt apprehensive. She rarely competed in pill refining, and even if they competed, she still won. Moreover, this was the first time she was competing in pill refining competitions in such a large scale. If she were to lose, it would definitely be a blow to her. Right now, the only person who was worried was probably Long Perong alone, because the other 8 alchemists had already confirmed that they were not destined to be number 1. At this moment, they were patiently waiting here, just for the final result. She naturally hoped that Chen Shang would win since Xiao Profoundian was his junior sister and his sister, but she also felt that Long Perong was very strong. Previously, when Long Perong had entered the arena, there were many alchemists who were filled with reverence for her, and from then on, it could be seen. 2 hours passed and Chen Shang was still like that. The pill furnace was surrounded by dense immortal qi. After another half an hour, the people in the competition grounds suddenly felt that Chen Zhang's pill furnace had stopped absorbing the immortal qi, and the innate qi in his body was also extremely scarce, showing how much energy he had expended. Everyone just noticed the change in Chen Zhang's pill furnace, and Chen Shang immediately opened his eyes, but he did not open the pill furnace, he had not finished refining the pill, and was also very tired. He refined the pills from the other Hunyuan Dan, and gradually recovered his energy. "I'm done," Chen Shang said, and everyone immediately became alert, staring at his pill furnace. Even if he is able to refine peak quality, at most he would be only at 97. Even if he is at 98, he would still be on the same level as me. I still have a chance at victory. Long Perong thought. When Chen Shang opened his eyes, the confident look in his eyes made everyone feel like he had already won. He slowly extended his hand towards the lid of the pill furnace, but he was unable to open it. It was obvious that the lid had been sucked in by a force. Chen Shang increased his strength and finally lifted the lid a little, revealing a small crack. It was also at this time that a multicolored light suddenly shot out from the inside of the lid, like the one released by the 7-colored sky flames. However, it was much stronger than the 7-colored sky flames, because the light rays had a strong penetrating power that shot far away. Seeing these clouds of light, everyone was at a loss for words, especially the Dan Immortal, because they knew that this was a genuine pill light. Chen Shang forcefully opened the lid. Following that, rainbow-colored light shot out from the pill furnace like a gushing spring, instantly rushing to the top of the Immortal Palace. The burst of rainbow-colored light did not dissipate. The 7-colored light pillar was dazzled by the colorful light mist, releasing a dense pill fragrance, penetrating into people's hearts, causing them to be extremely spirited. The most shocking thing was still the 4 shining Hunyuan Dan pills in Chen Zhang's hands. Under these circumstances, he actually dared to pursue the quantity of the pellets, unlike the other alchemist who, in order to pursue quality, had only refined 1 pellet. Chapter 1354. Chen Shang held the 4 pellets, and under everyone's astonished gaze, he walked to the side of the test disc. He casually took 1 pellet from his palm and placed it into the center of the indent on the test disc. At this time, the most touching moment had come. The Dan Immortals all surrounded over and stared at the pointer. Even though Long Perong had lived for many years, she had never been as nervous as she was now. She was worried that she would lose. The finger array fiercely rotated. Everyone's eyes were fixated on the area between 95 and 100. Who would have thought that the needle would stop at 3 points after turning 100? Everyone was startled when they saw this scene. Then, they took a deep breath and looked at the needle in disbelief. The quality had actually exceeded 100, and reached 103. It was much higher than Long Perong's 88, and it had already far surpassed Long Perong's. Just as everyone was staring at him in a daze, Chen Shang picked up the pellet, changed the pellet again and rotated the finger array. Once, he turned the array around and also stopped at the 3rd pellet. Chen Shang looked at He Piqing and laughed. "Now, you should be able to confirm the outcome of this competition, right?" He Piqing slowly took a deep breath, and passed the small cauldron to Chen Shang with great dissatisfaction. "You're first." Even if He Piqing was 1,000 times unwilling, he still wouldn't dare to act shamelessly in front of so many people. Chen Shang took the divine furnace and immediately placed it inside his Yuyao ring. At the same time, a few of the big shots in the VIP boxes had already started to get excited. The match is over. He Piqing also felt a little nervous, because there would definitely be a lot of people stopping Chen Shang in a bit. Chen Shang took the divine furnace and walked towards the exit. Halt! Wait! The one who yelled, "Stop!" was the Dan Immortal Holy Dragon, while the other one was He Feng. They all knew that the person in front of them was Chen Shang. The Saint Dragon Dan Immortal looked at He Feng and thought nothing of it. In a flash, he arrived in front of Chen Shang and asked coldly, "You are Chen Shang, you have my Imperial Dragon Clan's Supreme Divine Saber on you, quickly hand it over to me." Otherwise, you won't be able to walk out of here today. Chen Shang had long since gotten used to this kind of thing. I don't understand what you're saying. Just as Chen Shang finished speaking, a strong burst of pressure suddenly surged over, followed by a burst of extremely terrifying dragon chi gushing into the competition grounds. A dozen people suddenly appeared beside the holy dragon Dan Immortal, among them was a mighty middle-aged man. This middle-aged man was Dragon Emperor. Hand over the green dragon demon-slain broadsword and we will not pursue the past matters. Dragon Emperor said indifferently. A pair of eyes filled with ruthlessness stared at Chen Shang, causing Chen Shang to feel immense pressure. What right do you have to say that the green dragon demon-slain broadsword is your imperial dragon clan's? Chen Shang asked. Bring out the evidence. Green dragon demon-slain broadsword were crafted by divine craftsmen. In the legends, they never mentioned anything about imperial dragon clan. When Chen Shang said this, he was undoubtedly admitting his identity. As matters stood, he had nothing to hide, he had long made his preparations. This imperial dragon clan is really going too far. Wang Weiquan bellowed. He was about to head towards the competition grounds, but Xiao Profoundian suddenly walked in. Don't worry, everyone, Master is here. With him here, I'll be fine. Chen Shang said. Chen Shang had told her this before. Facing the Dragon Emperor, even the human King Immortal country felt a lot of pressure. Very high elder, do it, this imperial dragon clan is too arrogant. Long Huishan stood up, his face was filled with anger. At this time, the people of Devil Suppressing Divine Palace and Fire Divine Palace entered the competition grounds. Chen Shang, you have the Holy Devil Suppressing Seal, quickly hand it over. It isn't yours. Chen Shang, we have to settle the debts we owed DTN. The people of Devil Suppressing Divine Palace and Fire Divine Palace took the chance to find an excuse to clash with Chen Shang, as they had to get something from Chen Zhang's body no matter what. The people in front of him were all experts, powers that were on the level of Immortal Kings, and the Dragon Emperor was even stronger than the Immortal Kings, so Chen Zhang's current strength was not even worth mentioning in front of this group of people. Seeing that there was someone who also wanted a share of the loot, Dragon Emperor snorted, if you don't hand over the green dragon demon-slain broadsword, you will die. The Dragon Emperor was the strongest, and the strongest people from the Devil Suppressing Divine Palace and the Devil Suppressing Divine Palace were not present yet. Of course, they did not dare to fight against the Dragon Emperor, or else their powers would not be enough to contend against him. Brat, don't you have a Chaos Fire token with you? Use that thing and I'll go take you away. Huang Jintian said to Chen Shang. Chen Shang still had 4 Chaos Fire token that he had yet to fuse with. When he was fusing with the Chaos Fire token, he would release a protective divine light, and those who were hit by the light wouldn't be able to move. Chen Shang stood there waiting for Huang Jintian's instructions. Previously, he had already wanted to use the Chaos Fire token, but he was worried that it would be of no use to the Dragon Emperor. If the Chaos Fire token is useful, you can take out the Holy Dragon Sword and stab it into the Dragon Emperor. At that time, the Dragon Emperor will definitely not defend against the Holy Dragon Sword. Long Shui said, and when the time comes, I will go and kill that Holy Dragon Dan Immortal. Today, I must let them know, that even Dragon Emperor would suffer a loss in front of the Dragon Subduing School. When Chen Shang heard it, he was secretly excited in his heart. A order badge suddenly appeared in his hand, and many people were staring at Chen Shang, so when a order badge suddenly appeared in his hand, they immediately noticed it. Just as everyone was guessing what he was going to do, they suddenly saw a pool of blood flowing out of Chen Zhang's palm. It was the Chaos Fire token. Quick, dodge! Just as Dragon Emperor wanted to leave, the light emitted by the Chaos Fire token had already shone onto his body, causing the people around him to be illuminated by the Chaos Fire token. The people surrounding Chen Shang were all enveloped by the silvery white glow emitted by the Chaos Fire token, they were all frozen by the magical and powerful energy inside, unable to move. Attack, quick, Long Shui shouted, and left Chen Zhang's body. Chen Shang immediately took out the Holy Dragon Sword, and according to Long Shui's instructions, he would use the power of the Holy Dragon and stab towards Dragon Emperor's Dragon Pearl. Although he had stabbed in, he was still repelled by a very powerful force, and even if the Dragon Emperor was immobile, it would be hard for him to kill it. Just one sword strike is enough to stab him. You won't be able to kill him, go kill the other Immortal Kings. Chen Shang immediately switched to the Green Dragon Demon-slain broadsword and locked onto Devil Suppressing Divine Palace and the 2 strongest Immortal Kings. In that instant, he looked down at the heads of the two immortal kings and smashed their sky pills with the hammer of God. Just as Chen Shang was about to take action against other people, Huang Jintian shouted, "Enough, do you not want to live anymore?" Chen Shang only felt someone grabbing onto his calf and his vision went black. When he could see clearly, he had already appeared in the middle of a huge lake. Chapter 1355. In the competition grounds, when Long Huishan and the very high elder just arrived, they saw Chen Shang taking out his holy dragon sword and thrusting towards the dragon emperor. After that, he used his fastest speed to attack the two immortal kings, and then he was pulled into the ground and disappeared. The protective divine light emitted by the chaos fire token had disappeared. Dragon Emperor, who could move, let out an angry roar. Chen Shang, he was the one who killed the crown prince, and the holy dragon sword is in his hands. Dragon Emperor bellowed, his entire body was trembling as his killing intent surged. The entire audience was silent, because there was a bloody hole on Dragon Emperor's body and one of his arms had already been chopped off, leaving behind bursts of golden dragon blood. On the other side, two immortal kings fell to the ground. Their stomachs were split open and their heads fell to the side. These were the more powerful immortal kings among the devil-suppressing divine palace and devil-suppressing divine palace, but they were actually killed just now. As for the holy dragon Dan Immortal, he sat paralyzed on the ground. A large amount of blood was left on his abdomen, and his dragon pearl had already been taken away. The Dragon Emperor was truly worthy of being called the Dragon Emperor. He knew who killed his son and was even tricked ruthlessly, but he was unexpectedly calm. There were other people who attacked just now. One of them cut off my arm, and the other took away Long Lin's dragon pearl. The Dragon Emperor looked at the dead fire divine palace and the immortal king of devil-suppressing divine palace coldly. That kid even used an incredible hammer to shatter their heavenly pellets through their bodies. When the people of Fire Divine Palace and Devil-Suppressing Divine Palace heard this, they became exceptionally furious. They never thought that Chen Shang would be so crazy. When Prince Imperial Dragon was killed, it caused a huge commotion in the ninth heaven, and the person who actually killed Prince Imperial Dragon was actually Chen Shang. Hammer. Is it a black hammer? This was the Hall Master who sealed Chen Shang all those years ago. That's right, such a powerful hammer. Dragon Emperor said. His calmness at this moment made people shudder. Ice Emperor was killed by a person holding a black hammer. The old man clenched his fists. Chen Shang did it. He also knew that Ice Emperor was in a half-dead state, but even if he was unable to kill Ice Emperor at all for the past 10 days, he had instead been killed by Chen Shang. Long Huishan heard their conversation from afar and secretly cursed Chen Shang in his heart. To actually do such a big thing again, there was no longer a need for her to help him. Wronger, come here, the very high elder shouted. Long Perong was also frightened quite badly just now, so she anxiously went over to very high elder's side. Dragon Emperor glanced at the Long family's very high elder and furrowed his brows. Then, he brought the Imperial Dragon clan's people and disappeared from the arena. Chen Shang ascended to Heaven Realm. This was the first time he revealed his identity, and at the same time, he did something extremely high profile. This little junior brother really doesn't care about his life, but he escaped. Wang Weiquan heaved a sigh of relief. My uncle master is such a person, whoever wants to make a move against him will have a bad ending. The Fire Divine Palace and the Devil-Suppressing Divine Palace both lost an immortal king, and the Imperial Dragon clan's holy dragon Dan Immortal was also destroyed. Hua Shangyu said. I never thought that the Prince Imperial Dragon was actually killed by him. When I was at the Sacred Dan Realm, I thought that it was the Super Yuan sect leader, but this brat is really good at scheming, actually making the Super Yuan sect leader suffer, and the Dragon Emperor hasn't discovered this yet. Lu Munger said. Let's hurry back to Human King Immortal Country. Dragon Emperor is surprisingly calm, this is not a good thing. Wu Kanghong said. Long Huishan also immediately returned to the Supreme Ocean Palace, cursing loudly all along the way. This little bastard actually really killed the Prince Imperial Dragon and even left a holy dragon sword in his hands. No wonder he left his ice dragon sword with me. In that case, the Super Yuan sect leader died unjustly, and was killed by him. Yan Zilan chuckled. There were 3 people who acted just now, and one of them should be his master Huang Jintian. He was using the Taiji Dragon suppressed Kung Fu and he also has a very powerful weapon that can cut off Dragon Emperor's arm. The very high elder had a stern expression. There's one more, why can't we see him? I thought it was Chen Shang who did it. Long Perong asked. The other one isn't a person, but a dragon. From the qi, it should be a white dragon, and Chen Shang has a white dragon by his side, everything makes sense. The white dragon has obtained a lot of inherited memories, and there are even ancient records, so Chen Shang probably got help from that white dragon. White dragon. Long Huishan was startled. Then doesn't that mean that this white dragon bears a deep grudge against the Sea of Blood? No wonder he helped Chen Shang to make a move against Imperial Dragon Clan. The very high elder nodded his head and said, all of the Dragon Emperors know immediately, that this is not only a personal grudge that involves him, but the life and death of the entire Imperial Dragon Clan. The legendary White Dragon of Vengeance has already appeared, and the prophecy said that the Imperial Dragon Clan would be destroyed, and this was all caused by the White Dragon. That's why the Imperial Dragon Clan killed the White Dragon back then. I didn't expect the White Dragon to still be alive, and not just that, but it was a very powerful White Dragon as well. Wei Shan, let's not get involved in this matter anymore. Chen Shang is very powerful, there's no need for you to worry at all. If he can even kill Ice Swallow City, the hidden power he has is not something that you or I can imagine. The very high elder said to Long Huishan seriously. I know. Long Huishan sighed softly. What happened today was like a flood that spread through the 9 heavens. Chen Shang looked at Huang Jintian and said, Master, I never thought that you would be able to cut off Dragon Emperor's hand. You really hide your strength well. If Long Shui had not told him this, he would not have known that Huang Jintian would actually take this opportunity to slice Dragon Emperor's dragon claw away. HMPH. If you didn't have some ability, how would you be the master of a brat like you? With the things you stirred up, if it was anyone else, they would have already been worried to death. Huang Jintian laughed. He was very happy to be able to obtain a Dragon Emperor's arm. But, if it wasn't for me using the Chaos Fire token, you wouldn't have had the chance to cut off Dragon Emperor's arm, so you scored a bit for me. Chen Shang said. You won't be able to run without me. Huang Jintian said. So we are even, I won't even give you a single hair, if you want to do it yourself. It's a pity that the Bird Emperor of the Imperial Avian race is not around. Otherwise, I would have been able to get his wings too. Seeing Chen Zhang's look of contempt, Huang Jintian said, what other powerful things are on your body, and what is that hammer, and where is that dragon? Chen Shang took out the hammer and said, this is the hammer of God, it's the same as the divine furnace. That's why I don't hesitate to obtain the divine cauldron. Huang Jintian received it and realized that the divine hammer was heavy. Good stuff, as expected of a divine hammer, I never thought that you would be able to kill off the ice floor. Ice Emperor's body, that's a good thing, although it can't be eaten. There's nothing left, that corpse was completely melted. I used a lot of magical corruption gases. Chen Shang also felt that it was a pity. You prodigal brat. Huang Jintian felt that it was extremely unfortunate. After returning the godly hammer to Chen Shang, he did not pursue the matter of Long Shui further. Chapter 1356. When Huang Jintian cut off Dragon Emperor's arm, he did not give Chen Shang even a little bit of it because Chen Shang had also obtained a dragon pearl. What plans do you have for the future? Do you have a way to get rich? Huang Jintian asked with a smile. Even if there was, Chen Shang probably wouldn't tell this stingy master now. No, my next plan is to train hard for a while and wait for the sound of the wind to pass. Chen Shang said, this was indeed his next plan, it was only the first half of the plan. Now that you are safe, we will split up here, but you still have to be careful, although you have the ability, those Imperial Dragon Clan are not weak, in the future when you meet them, you should avoid them as much as possible. Huang Jintian said. Got it, then I'll be going, take care. After Huang Jintian finished speaking, he immediately disappeared, probably using the earth escape technique to leave this place. After Huang Jintian left, Chen Shang continued to stay in the mountain forest. This place was no longer the Myriad Dan Immortal country's immortal palace, and it was also very far away from the Myriad Dan Immortal country. With Long Shui's help, he was able to hide his powers well. Previously, he had managed to hide it from many powerful experts, but later on his pill refining skills were exposed. No lid, too bad. Chen Shang was holding onto the divine cauldron, so he didn't need to drip any blood to immediately use it, but he wasn't able to unleash the entire power of the divine cauldron in that moment because he needed to refine it. He needed to infuse his own god power and innate chi and connect the divine cauldron to the user in order to be able to freely control it. Looks like you have to make a trip to the sacred beast's ancient realm. Long Shui said. Chen Shang still did not want to go, because he was very weak. Not long ago, he was surrounded by so many experts and he felt a sense of powerlessness. If not for the Chaos Fire token, he would not have been able to escape so easily. It was possible that the sacred beast's ancient realm was hiding the beast slain method, so the map that the Dan Emperor left behind also pointed at that location. The divine stainless cauldron in Chen Zhang's hands was created by a divine craftsman, but Dan Emperor took a very long time to forge it, so that was why the picture that Dan Emperor left behind was written on it. I can't go now. That place is too dangerous. Chen Shang said helplessly. After coming to the heaven realm, he had experienced how terrifying the experts were there, so he no longer underestimated the sacred beast's ancient realm, because that place was where the white tiger dragon was born. It was the cradle of the most powerful holy beast of the primordial era. It was extremely difficult to find Chen Shang here. If it was anyone else, it might have been easier because they could use the sky dogs or some other tracking treasures, but these things were now completely useless to Chen Shang. Chen Shang, who was hiding deep in the mountains, was currently very safe. In this kind of deep mountain, there weren't many beast-type medicinal herbs, and normally no one would come in with nothing to do, so he was very relieved to stay here. Is he going to refine a sacred animal Dan? Long Shui asked excitedly. If you want to refine it, I will give you the Holy Dragon Dan Immortal's Dragon Pearl that I obtained. When you refine the Holy Dragon Pill, you will need to extract some Holy Dragon Essence from the Dragon Pearl to refine it, so the effects should be much better. We'll talk after I refine the Origin Restoring Pills. Once I learn how to refine the Origin Restoring Pills, I'll think of a way to sell the large batch of ground-level pills in my hands, trade for a few more spiritual crystal, and then buy the sacred animal Dan's medicinal ingredients. If I use the creation divine liquid to duplicate them, that'll be too much of a waste of time. Chen Shang said. In the heaven realm, the ingredients for low-grade heaven level S were not so scarce. Only with spiritual crystal, he could buy them, so he felt that if he were to use the creation divine liquid on those high-grade pills, it would have a higher value. Then hurry up, I haven't even eaten sacred animal Dan. The old granny from the Long family refined a high-grade heaven-level sacred animal Dan. I feel that if you want to sell those ground-level pills, the best would be to find your elder sister Long. Long Shui was still concerned about the sacred animal Dan that Long Perong had refined with the quality of 97. Chen Shang had indeed promised Long Huishan that after the competition ends, he would make a trip to the Long family. In the previous round, Chen Shang gained a lot of experience. He believed that when he refined the Origin Returning Pill, he would definitely succeed. Previously, when he was refining the Origin Returning Pill, he had already failed a few times and never succeeded. He didn't have much medicinal materials for the restoration pills either. If he didn't succeed, he would have to go out and buy them. Previously, he failed because he was unable to successfully refine the Baiyuan fruit. The Baiyuan fruit was the only main ingredient of the Origin Returning Pill, which was why it was so difficult to deal with it. Chen Shang placed the Baiyuan fruit on his palm, then activated the innate qi, releasing the rainbow heaven flame. After going through the furnace of the peak quality, his control over the rainbow heaven flame increased by a lot. Although the consumption of the rainbow heaven flame was large, it could still be used to refine pills to increase his success rate. The Baiyuan fruit was quickly incinerated into a blood-red color by the multicolored heavenly fire. It was previously white, but now it had turned red and evil, and it also emitted a red glow that slowly flickered, making it look like a slowly beating heart. At this time, the Baiyuan fruit was very stable. Unlike before, it could always explode easily. Long Shui secretly prayed for Chen Shang to succeed inside the ring, so that she would be able to eat the sacred animal Dan soon. Done. Chen Shang revealed a slight smile and let out a light breath. Even though the Baiyuan fruit in his hand was burnt red, it suddenly turned into a cluster of snow-white light when it disintegrated. He hastily put the ball of light into the 7-star treasure furnace, and those supplementary herbs had already been refined long ago. As long as he started fusing them, he would be able to enter the core formation stage. The process of condensing the pellet was very smooth. Although there were only 3, the number of pills produced was enough to make many Dan Immortal feel ashamed, because the Origin Restoring Pellet was a high-level healing pellet, and the main ingredients had only 1 Baiyuan fruit. The more powerful Dan Immortal could only refine 2 pellets, and most alchemists could only refine 1 pellet. But Chen Shang, who managed to refine 3 pills for the first time, could only do so because of the God purification and his solid foundation. Hurry up and refine the sacred animal Dan. I really want to eat it, especially with the royal bird meat. I'm sure it will be fun. Long Shui said pitifully. I suddenly don't want to practice it anymore. I want to take a break. Chen Shang laughed. You, I hate you, Long Shui said angrily when he heard Chen Shang. I will go to the Long family. I will go there and ask Sister Long for it. It will be much faster than my current refining process. Chen Shang added. Yeah, Long Shui immediately said happily, then why aren't you doing it? Chapter 1357. The Long family was in the Pellet region, which was very far from the myriad Dan Immortal country. However, there was the transmission array that one could go to. As long as Chen Shang went to one of the Immortal palaces, he would be able to easily go to the Pellet region. He came to a small Immortal palace nearby. Although the Immortal Palace was very far from the myriad Dan Immortal country's Immortal Palace, it was still managed by the myriad Dan Immortal country. Chen Shang spent more than 10 days, relying on that guided Immortal plate to get here. The moment he entered this Immortal Palace, he immediately asked for information about him. It was just as he had guessed. He was offered a bounty, and it was not for spiritual crystal S, but for tier 5 Immortal pills. This was enough for many Immortal Monarch S and Immortal Kings to take action. The bounty came from Devil Suppressing Divine Palace S, Fire Divine Palace S, Divine Saber Immortal Palace S, Imperial Dragon Clan S and Myriad Dan Immortal Country S. All of these bounties were extremely bountiful, making one's heart palpitate with excitement. How can a tier 5 Immortal pill be so easily obtained? Catching me would be even more difficult than gathering all the ingredients for a tier 5 Immortal pill. Chen Shang thought to himself as he walked in the direction of the transmission array. Just as he saw the plaza where many transmission arrays were arranged, a transmission array suddenly flashed and a woman appeared. She immediately rushed towards him. It's the little maid. Chen Shang was shocked. The lady with the graceful figure and beautiful white dress was none other than Ji Meixian. Chen Shang immediately thought that he could deceive the Dragon Emperor and frame him as the culprit, with Ji Meixian's help. Otherwise, he wouldn't have succeeded. Now that the truth had been revealed, the Dragon Emperor knew that he was the one who killed the Prince Imperial Dragon. This Ji Meixian would naturally be suspected, and was believed to be related to him. Sure enough, the transmission array lit up once again, and a group of people appeared. From far away, Chen Shang could feel that group of people had the white innate chi that gave off a vast sensation. Hearing the barking, he knew that Ji Meixian was being chased by the Tengu. Furthermore, she was the niece of the ruthless devil Venerable, and had even grown up in the Imperial Feather race. After entering the Heaven Realm, her strength had increased very quickly, and she had already become an Immortal Monarch. Even if it was the Immortal Monarch's strength, she was chased until the streets ran. It could be seen that the people chasing her were even stronger. Little maid, come to my place. Chen Shang, who was dashing over, sent a sound transmission to him before he quickly turned a corner. Seeing Chen Shang here, Ji Meixian's heart was overjoyed. She directly went to Chen Shang, and when she approached Chen Shang placed her in the dark jade ring. Chen Shang then squeezed into the crowd on the side of the street, looking at the people who were rushing over with the dogs. Little maid, White Sea Imperial Land found you? Chen Shang asked. He had originally planned to let Ji Meixian lurk inside the White Sea Imperial Land. Yes, Dragon Emperor and Immortal Country by High's relationship is very good. Not long after you ran away on the competition grounds, I sensed danger and immediately fled, only to be chased all the way here by 3 Immortal Kings. Luckily you appeared here, otherwise I would not know when you would have escaped. Ji Meixian was with Bai Yu inside the ring, and she was panting. She had used up a lot of energy and was very tired. Su Meiyao gave some pills to her to eat, making her feel much better. Where's Yi Xuan? Has she been discovered? Chen Shang asked. She originally wanted to leave with me, but I told her to stay in Immortal Country by High. Maybe it might be useful to us in the future. Ji Meixian said. Chen Shang was a leader of the Dragon Subduing School, and there would be a day when he would come into conflict with the Bai High Heavenly Kingdom. Zhao Yi Profound was highly regarded inside, so if nothing unexpected happened, he might be able to have a very high position in the future. I'm really sorry, I almost caused you harm, said guiltily. At this time, he walked into the transmission array, handed over 1,000,000 spiritual crystal, and teleported to the Saint Pellet realm. Ji Meixian was Chen Zhang's female slave. Although there were many conflicts between them before, after she became Chen Zhang's female slave, she found out that Su Meiyao and Bai Yu were behind his back, and she had a very good impression of Chen Shang. Moreover, Chen Shang treated her quite well, and gave her quite a few pills to help her become an immortal even faster. Of course, what she valued the most was Chen Zhang's potential. She hated the Imperial Feather race extremely, and now that Chen Shang already dared to challenge her alone, he would definitely dare to go against her in the future. She wholeheartedly wanted to eliminate him. Why are you telling this to me? From the time I told you, I've been preparing to take risks. Ji Meixian said. What plans do you have for the future? Why don't you stay here with us? Su Meiyao said. She also wanted a companion. Right now, you are only a mortal country by high. Perhaps in the future, even Imperial Dragon Clan will chase after you. Bai Yuyu said. Ji Meixian glanced at Bai Yuyu and Su Meiyao, then sighed. If you two request for me to be here, I naturally would not object. Although it was safe in here, it was not good for her to grow. She wanted to recover the strength that she had back then. Go to the Long family. You should be fine there. And her both had a special relationship with Ji Meixian. Back then, Ji Meixian had always been chasing after and killing them, but for their own good, so that they wouldn't be chased by their enemies. And Ji Meixian was even their master's niece. Just stay away from the final range of Tengu. Ji Meixian said. She used to be a lone wolf as well, and now that she was separated from a mortal country of Bai Hai, she no longer wished to be part of a faction. Even though Chen Shang was her master, she knew that Chen Shang would not restrict her freedom. Here is the meat of the small gold eagle. Do you want to eat it? Long Shui skipped to Ji Meixian's side and said sweetly. The son of the Golden Rock King was actually killed by the leader. Ji Meixian was extremely surprised. During the Great Battle, the death of one of the Golden Rock King's sons had caused a huge sensation. What's wrong with that? Why don't you see who that brat is? Long Shui laughed. You are Bai Long, right? No wonder the Imperial Dragon Clan is in a mess right now. Ji Meixian looked at Long Shui with a serious expression. Although Long Shui had a sweet appearance and a devilish figure, she gave off an extremely dangerous feeling. Of course, when my Heavenly Dragon Supreme Lord goes out, he would be scared to death. Long Shui laughed. She seemed to have known that this would happen. Ji Meixian didn't say much about the White Dragon. She knew that the beautiful White Dragon lady in front of her carried the eternal hatred of the White Dragon clan, and was very similar to her. Chen Shang arrived at the Long family's Immortal Palace in the Pellet region. This Immortal Palace was recently built by the Long family and was incomplete in many places. The walls were very low too, but to be able to construct it in such a short period of time was already quite impressive. Chapter 1358. Although the Sacred Dan realm had fused with the Heaven realm, there were no changes to the terrain. Back then, he had also stayed at the Long family for a period of time, so he was relatively familiar with the place. However, there was still a big change here. For example, the Long family's headquarters was located right in the middle of the Immortal Palace. There was also a tall wall, making it difficult to enter. Chen Shang took out the jade tablet that Long Huishan had given him back then. He arrived at the central area, and at the entrance under the tall and big wall, he took out the jade tablet and handed it over to the Immortal Monarch guarding the gate. Do you need to lead the way? After the Immortal Monarch saw this, he immediately felt deep veneration for Chen Shang. Although he did not know who this person was, those with this jade token had the best relationship with the female dragon king of the Long family. Just take me to your patriarch. Chen Shang said. He kept the jade medallion, and then the Immortal Monarch called for a young lady, and brought him to the large building. The Long family in the center area was like a large city with many buildings. It could be seen that the Long family was developing very well. Chen Shang was brought into a luxurious living room. The young lady told him to wait here. She had already sent someone to inform Long Huishan. When Long Huishan found out that someone was holding onto that type of jade tablet, she knew that Chen Shang had come. She thought that it would take Chen Shang some time to arrive. She didn't expect it to happen so soon. She immediately rushed to the guest hall, and upon seeing Chen Shang, she really wanted to punch him twice, but she endured it. Without saying much more, she brought Chen Shang directly into an even tighter manner. Just as he entered, Long Huishan punched Chen Shang in the chest. Little bastard, you really dare to play. Chen Shang changed back to his own appearance and laughed. Big sister Long, long time no see, you look even more beautiful than before, and you even have the aura of a female dragon king. Cut the crap. Long Huishan grabbed Chen Shang and brought him into the great hall. Then, he pushed onto a chair with all his strength and sat down as well. Long Huishan wore a golden armor with a long braid hanging down to her chest. One could see the stiff armor that was glowing with a golden light on it. Long Huishan had indeed changed a lot. When Chen Shang had first met her, he had felt that she was a strong woman, but now she was an overbearing queen, not as young and gentle as she was in the past. Of course, all of this was forced out of her environment. Seeing Chen Zhang's mischievous eyes sweeping over her, Long Huishan glared at him. What are you looking at? Back then, Chen Shang and Hua Shangyu had stayed at Long Huishan's place for a period of time. At that time, Hua Shangyu's clothes were extremely seductive throughout the day, and she often dual cultivated with Chen Shang at night. How would I dare? Sister Long's figure is so good, her face is so beautiful, and whatever clothes she wears are very beautiful. Of course, not wearing them would be even more beautiful. Chen Shang laughed. He deserves a beating. Long Huishan bellowed. He had already arrived in front of Chen Shang and fiercely knocked on his head. Long Huishan was indeed becoming stronger and stronger. Back then, when she obtained the inheritance of the Ice Dragon, she had only just become an immortal king, but now, she was much stronger than before. As Long Huishan sat on the chair beside Chen Shang, he watched as Chen Shang rubbed the sore spot on her head. He couldn't help but think of what happened back then when Chen Shang and her had entered the dragon cave, how weak she was at that time, and all the difficulties she had encountered along the way. Chen Shang had helped her resolve them, allowing her to ultimately enter the depths of the dragon cave to obtain the inheritance of the Ice Dragon. When she thought about this, her heart couldn't help but feel warm. The way she looked at Chen Shang became very gentle, so when Chen Shang came to the heaven realm and didn't look for her, she became very angry. This made her feel that Chen Shang thought that she wasn't strong enough. She still didn't know how to repay Chen Zhang's kindness. When Chen Shang was surrounded by the Dragon Emperor and the other rankers, she had already made preparations to fight to her death. Foolish brat, can't you provoke some weaker forces? Can it be easier for me to help you? Long Huishan said bitterly as he reached out to rub Chen Zhang's head. Even though you called me elder sister, I didn't do my duty. Long Huishan sighed. No need to blame yourself. I came here to trouble you. You won't chase me away, right? Chen Shang laughed as he grabbed the long braid that hung on Long Huishan's chest and played around with it. I knew that you would only look for me if you had something to say. Long Huishan pulled back her braid and snorted. At the moment, she did look somewhat like a woman. That's right, how is little Ling right now? Chen Shang asked. He's still sleeping. This little girl still doesn't know that her big brother Yan is being offered a bounty and doesn't dare to show his face. Long Huishan leaned on the chair, crossed his legs, and lightly sipped on his tea, asking, what are you looking for me for? Is there another sister from Stronghold? Chen Shang had originally planned to leave Ji Meixian here, but since Ji Meixian was unwilling, she decided to go out and adventure by herself. Elder sister Long, have you seen Yulin? Chen Shang was now more worried about Leng Yulin, because her white hair was a symbol of the white dragon's blood. Although Long Shui had never told him about the hatred between Bai Long and Imperial Dragon Clan, he could feel the strong desire for revenge inside the white dragon's bones. After Leng Yulin awakened his white dragon vein, there was a huge change, although he still loved his older brother a lot. I met her the last time I went to Human King Immortal country. I had a private chat with her before, she got along really well with me, and I even fought with her before, she was the one who pestered me to spar with her. Otherwise, she wouldn't be able to bear this elder sister of mine. Long Huishan said. Leng Yulin was very similar to the current Long Huishan. They were both violent women and there was dragon blood in their bodies. That's why she has white hair. If possible, I hope you can take her and let her stay here for a period of time. Once she has some power, I think it would be better for her to stay with you. Chen Shang said in a low voice. Hearing this, Ji Meixian, who was inside the quiet dragon ring, was also very surprised, and looked towards Long Shui. Long Shui had also told Chen Shang before that it would be better for Leng Yulin to follow him because the Long family was a group of dragon people. Long Huishan knew that there was a white dragon by Chen Zhang's side, and because of the appearance of the white dragon, the Imperial Dragon Clan was extremely nervous. Chapter 1359. There was still a more important matter that Chen Shang came to find Long Huishan for, and Long Huishan could guess it as well. I got a lot of pills in the competition, so I don't need any of them. Chen Shang laughed and said, I want to let go of your hand. I don't need any spiritual crystal, I just want a few of them. I knew that you wouldn't be able to sell that batch of ground-level pills. How about this, I'll give you 10 million spiritual crystal and give you a few more. I don't have much sacred animal fruit for now, but a batch of them will ripen after a while. Long Huishan said. Although there were a lot of pills that Chen Shang refined during the competition, they were all high-grade ground-level pills, and each pill was only worth 200 spiritual crystal. Even though he managed to refine more than 30,000 pills, he only had around 60 to 70 million, so the price that Long Huishan offered was considered very high. Isn't that too much? Chen Shang said in embarrassment. There's no need for you to be so polite. The pills you concoct are of the highest quality, and my Long family will not lose out if we sell them. I heard that you're a black-hearted fellow, so you should beat me up right now. Long Huishan laughed. I don't dare. Chen Shang blushed. If he was selling someone else, he would definitely beat them up. However, Long Huishan had a good relationship with him, and he would have to trouble her to take care of Leng Yulin and Shen Lingling. Chen Shang gave the pills to Long Huishan, and upon seeing them, Long Huishan could not help but exclaim, "Little fellow, you actually managed to refine so many of them in just 2 to 3 days. If you come next time, I'll have to prepare some more medicinal ingredients for you to refine." Definitely not. Who told you to be my sister? Chen Shang grinned. Good brother. Long Huishan smiled daintily, then kissed Chen Zhang's cheek. I'll go get you the sacred animal fruit, wait for me here. When Long Huishan left, he touched the cheek that had been kissed by her and chuckled, it's better to kiss on the mouth. You should have let her bring a few sacred animal dan over. I've grown up, but I've never eaten a few sacred animal dan before. Long Shui shouted anxiously. What's the rush? Give me some time, I'll let you eat until you puke, said. Now that he knew that Long Shui was not weak, he would definitely help Long Shui increase his strength in the future. Not long after Long Huishan left, an old lady slowly walked in. She was precisely the Long Perong who always lagged behind Chen Shang during competitions. In these 3 matches, Chen Shang had always been in first place, while Long Perong had always been in second place. It would be fine if there was a slight gap between their results, but who knew that Chen Shang would always leave her behind, which made it difficult for her to compare second and first. Long Perong originally came to look for Long Huishan, but the moment she entered, she saw a young man who was young and handsome. Of course she knew who this strange man was, because Chen Zhang's bounty portraits were all over the streets, it would be weird if she did not know. Chen Shang was precisely this kind of young brat that defeated her. Whenever Long Huishan thought of this, he always felt that his age was no different from a dog's. When Chen Shang saw Long Perong, he immediately stood up and said respectfully, Kid Chen Shang greets senior. Long Perong knew that Chen Shang was Long Huishan's foster brother. Although she had lost to Chen Shang 3 times, Chen Zhang's respectful bow to her made her secretly praise him in her heart. However, she was still a little unhappy in her heart. Long Perong walked into the hall and sighed. This is my old body, you've won 3 times in a row and you're always ahead of me by a lot. Don't be polite with me, as your teacher, I should pay respects to you. Chen Shang only smiled, and then, he sat down together with Long Perong. The bounty for Chen Shang was flying everywhere as groups of people searched for him, wanting to get that precious bounty. However, Chen Shang was sitting there leisurely, drinking his tea. The age difference between Chen Shang and Long Perong was huge, but they were both alchemists, so when it came to refining pills, they were chatting excitedly. Chen Shang had a unique and innovative perspective on pill refining. After hearing about it, Long Perong felt that she had benefited greatly, but she had the rich experience of refining a high-level pellet, which was something that even Su Meiyao did not have. Long Huishan took more than 2 hours to return, but seeing that Chen Shang and Long Pei were chatting so much, she was very happy. You're not in a hurry. Why don't you stay here for a few more days and treat this place as your own home? Long Huishan threw a storage bag to Chen Shang. No, I'm worried that the Dragon Emperor will suddenly find us here. It's not good for you. Chen Shang said. What are you afraid of? He's here, we can just beat him up and run. Although we only have dragon blood, we are not afraid of the Imperial Dragon clan. Long Huishan said. Her father was a very mysterious rancor. Chen Shang also guessed that the Long family was hiding a strong power. That day he was surrounded by many strong warriors, and that Long Huishan and an old man dared to come. In full fury, it looked like they wanted to fight, but then Huang Jintian brought him running away quickly, so the conflict did not happen. If Chen Shang wanted to leave, no one could stay. Long Huishan was a little angry and scolded a bit, before letting him leave. Relying on the superpowers of Imperial Dragon Clan, Fire Divine Palace and Devil Suppressing Divine Palace, they would definitely be able to investigate the relationship between him and the Long family. And right now, Long Huishan also had a batch of high-grade ground-level pills that he had refined. Before long, it would be discovered by Chen Zhang's enemies, which was why he chose to leave. This would allow the Long family to avoid unnecessary trouble. Chen Shang teleported away through the transmission array in the Immortal Palace, leaving behind a faraway place from the Heaven Realm's Immortal Palace. The immortal qi in this place was not rich, there were not many beasts, and there were very few strange flowers and herbs. 20 sacred animal fruit, she's so generous. Chen Shang originally thought that it would only be around 10 or so, and that one would sell for 2 million spiritual crystal, so these 20 would be equivalent to 40 million spiritual crystal. What a good big sister. I also want her to be my big sister. Long Shui said while holding back his saliva. This little gluttonous dragon had milk, and Chen Shang despised her actions right now. Inside the storage bag, there was also a jade tablet, on it were some special techniques engraved with 10 million spiritual crystal. As long as they went to the spiritual crystal Immortal Palace, they could use this jade tablet to exchange. This kind of jade tablet was very hard to copy, moreover if discovered, they would end up using the same super old poison. This 40-50 million spiritual crystal was simply nothing to Long Huishan. She was a female dragon king of the Long family, and after the sacred Dan realm had been merged with them, she had allowed the Long family to develop and become even more powerful. Chapter 1360. He already had the sacred animal fruit and next, he would need to refine a sacred animal Dan for Long Shui. Previously, Chen Shang would have won, but if it failed, he wouldn't be able to refine even a single one, and even if it succeeded, with Long Shui's appetite, it would be hard to satisfy her. If Chen Shang wanted to survive in the sacred beast's ancient realm, not only did he have to increase his own strength, he also had to make Long Shui stronger. When Ji Meixian came out of the netherworld Udambara flower, he found that the nearest immortal palace also needed to run continuously for 10 days and 10 nights, so it could be considered to be relatively safe. She looked at the towering green mountains all around her, took in a deep breath of fresh air, and stayed inside the ring for a long time. She would miss the outside world very much, and now, she could understand Su Meiyao's and Bai Yu's helplessness. You have a very strong spiritual sense, and that's your talent. Do as I say, and it won't be long before you get rid of the heavenly dog. Long Shui said. Ji Meixian was Chen Zhang's female slave, so she taught many techniques of the Imperial Dragon clan inside the ring. I know, you don't have to worry too much about me. My divine protective clothes are very powerful, so even if I meet a strong person like the Dragon Emperor, I won't die. Ji Meixian said. Chen Shang and Ji Meixian had decided to keep it a secret record so that they could contact each other in the future. Take care. Chen Shang stroked the messy hair on Ji Meixian's forehead and said with a smile. You have to take care of yourself as well. You are even more dangerous than me. Ji Meixian smiled at him. Ji Meixian's body floated into the air and flew away from the mountain. However, Chen Shang found a relatively quiet mountain corner, and started to carve a cave there. Within the 5-beast statue inside Chen Zhang's dantian, each of them originally had 9 heaven pellets. But after going through the 9 nirvana tribulations, they all combined into 1 pellet. The heavenly core in his dantian was no longer circular, but was the same as the beast elder, with a faint outline. He felt that if he continued to cultivate, he would be able to take on the exact same shape as the 5-beast statue, and might even slowly grow bigger. Of course, he had to refine sacred animal Dan S first and fill Long Shui's stomach. Although he had eaten royal bird meat before, but that was only to try it, and not to let Long Shui become stronger. Indeed, it had been a long time since Long Shui had a good meal, if not she would not yell all day. The sacred animal fruit was a type of fruit that could continuously evolve itself, and the highest would become the holy level. That was why it was called the sacred animal fruit, but it would take a long time. Even if Chen Shang used the creation divine liquid to accelerate its growth, it would probably take a lot of time. As for the sacred animal fruit that Long Huishan gave Chen Shang, they were all low-grade heaven level S, which was a lot lower than his current strength, but if he gave it to him in large quantities, it would still have a good effect. The difficulty of refining sacred animal Dan was not high, it was much easier than origin restoring pellets. There was only one type of main ingredient, which was why Long Perong chose to refine this pellet, and at the same time, refine peak quality. Right now, Chen Shang still did not plan to refine the peak quality, he needed too much time and effort. If one day, he did not need to spend all his energy and effort, he could casually refine a peak quality pill with his own will. Chen Shang only failed once and successfully refined a sacred animal dan. With 3 pills in each furnace, the quality was all top-notch. The moment he saw Chen Shang opening the pill furnace, Long Shui immediately ran out from the ring. The sacred animal dan was bigger, like a lychee. Long Shui put one in his mouth, but did not immediately bite off it, causing her fragrant cheeks to bulge, making her look very cute. Quickly eat it and see what its effects are. Chen Shang pinched the other cheek of her. It's very sweet. I want to take a sip. Long Shui said with puffed up half his face, while holding on to the other 2 pills, as if he was afraid that they would be snatched away. Chen Shang shook his head and smiled. He rubbed her face for a bit, then continued to refine sacred animal dan s. He wanted to refine all of the pills that Long Huishan had given him into pills. Right now, Long Shui was eating sacred animal dan s like candy. Using creation divine liquid S to replicate low-grade heaven level required a lot of effort. If he needed to copy a lot of them, Chen Shang would have to go into closed-door cultivation for a long time. If it was just sacred animal fruit S, it would not be as fast as Long Shui's speed of eating. Previously, he needed a few days to refine the sacred animal dan, but after successfully refining a batch, his speed would slowly increase. Chen Shang was concocting pills in the cave, while Long Shui was sitting at the side watching. He was still holding the sacred animal dan in his mouth, playing with it with his tongue like it was candy, as if he was eating it happily. This was the first time Chen Shang saw it look like he was eating a pill, but he also saw the sacred animal dan slowly shrinking in size in her mouth. Finally gone, Long Shui sucked her tongue and licked her lips, as if she was a child eating candy for the first time. Then, she put another sacred animal dan into her mouth. Chen Shang calculated the time. She had just eaten a sacred animal dan, using 2 hours of time. This was a good thing. If she ate like how she ate before, she could eat several vats in 1 hour. Now, Chen Shang knew that beautiful dragon pets were not easy to raise. Long Shui knew that there were not many people who could afford to keep her, which was why she insisted on keeping her promise with Chen Shang. Chen Shang spent 10 days worth of time and finally refined all of those sacred animal fruit into sacred animal dan s, while she ate very slowly, so she could only eat 1 pellet per day. She did not know how she ate it, and she could only hold it in her mouth for a good half a day. Chen Shang took out the small gold eagle's Oris core and the dragon pearl of the holy dragon Dan Immortal and the little emperor dragon that Huang Jintian had killed. These are all great supplements, but you can't just take on too much at once, take it step by step. Long Shui said. If he wanted to obtain a large amount of energy, Chen Shang could only rely on these things now, and the cultivation technique he cultivated could completely refine all of these energy into his own. Chen Shang had already stayed in the cave for 5 years. If he was in DTN, 5 years would be considered very long for him, but in Heaven Realm, it was nothing. Furthermore, many of the things that happened in the tournament 5 years ago, no one had forgotten now, and his bounty orders were all over the place. Chen Shang had absorbed the golden rock golden pellet and the 2 dragon pearls to raise his strength, giving him quite the harvest in the past 5 years. He had already stepped into the intermediate stage of the worldly immortal stage, and the 5 sky pellets among the 5 beast statue in his body gradually had a beast-like outline. The 5 beast statue in his dantian were just an illusion. He felt that the 5 heaven pills in the future would look exactly like the illusion, and that would be his true peak.